Okay, hello and welcome, guys, to Dragon Poet Society. Welcome back. We're back with a new and home-brewed campaign. We're going to be starting here relatively shortly. We're just waiting for our one missing individual, Nate. He'll be just coming around fairly soon, but not to keep anybody waiting, we're just going to start with a little bit of announcements. So just changing things up a little bit around here, moving away from previous streaming material to new homebrewed thing that I've been working on for quite a while. So really excited to bring that to fruition here, and we'll be getting going very, very shortly. So thank you for tuning in. Let's see, trying to make sure I've got all my bases covered, but I believe that we've got all the things that we need here, and I am soon to be investing in a couple other fun things to add things to the game, like maps and whatnot. So we'll be getting those coming along soon. But otherwise, we are going to be continuing streaming every Sunday, as much as we can, every Sunday, 6:30 to 9:30. So feel free to join in on future things. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell all the people you know. And we'll also have stuff on YouTube. We'll also have stuff on Instagram and Facebook. So you can look for us there, Dragon Poet Society. And I'll be also posting some additional projects and little narration lore snippets that are coming down the pipeline, so stay tuned for those. Otherwise, I'm going to stop stalling and just get right into the whole experience here fairly shortly. We are going to try and wait for Nate if we can. Since it is the start, very first episode 1, we're going to be trying to do that. But for those of you who have never been here before, we've got the character name tags. But I am your host, Nicholas, and the resident DM for Dragon Poet Society. And you can... that's fine. You can go ahead and leave, if there's anything wrong that you're noticing, just go ahead and send a chat in the chat box to let us know. That'd be great. But otherwise, yeah, I'm your host, Nicholas, and we've got down the line here. Go ahead and give yourself a little introduction.
My name is Sarah, and I'll be playing the character named Flo.
Okay, are we getting sound here? Let me just double check. 1 second. Yeah. We're getting sound. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. We're just sorting out all the little things. Don't worry. YouTube won't have to see this, so you guys get to see all the fun little experiences. Thank you for tuning in.
The magic of editing.
Yeah, the magic of editing. All right. Sorry, Sarah. Continue on.
Yeah, my name is Sarah, and I'm going to be playing the character named Flo.
My name is Megan, and I will be playing the character Anitka.
My name is Brandon, and I'll be playing Slate.
You decided on Slate?
Yes.
Slate.
All right. We've got missing man Nate across from Brandon. He's going to be playing the character Alistair. And we've got... go ahead. As I spill tea on my leg. Nice.
Oh, no. Hot tea.
Again, we'll fix it in the edit.
You'll never know.
It's all good. Go ahead.
I'm Kat. I'm going to be playing the character Renostos.
I'm Felina, and I will be playing Tanyl.
Yes, and I sneakily did that. I'm sure we'll do introductions again with descriptions and all that in-game once we get started, but also to help with any pronunciation concerns about player or character names, because, there's always that Starbucks situation.
Felina?
Yeah. The permutations on Nicholas, spelling-wise, are just truly astounding.
Goodness.
I think Felina might need to scooch.
Oh, is Felina not getting in comment?
I gotta be close to Cat.
It's okay. I can also. There we go.
There we go. Okay. Alright.
Because that's got plenty of space there for Nate. So, and Kat's getting blessed by Appa. So may her rolls all go fuzzily.
Thanks, Appa.
So. That's my Appa. But yeah, we're going to be continuing. Further on, just in a little bit, so thank you for staying tuned, but welcome to Dragon Poet Society. The main goal here is to just share a little bit of the stories that we've been working on, share such a lovely team and crew that play here with me, and also to try and get a little bit of word out about this project. I'm going to be eventually publishing it, but... don't hold your breath for when that's coming soon, because there's a lot to do. But it is working. It is in the works, and we'll also eventually get to the point of podcast as well. So just if you prefer your ears to be nourished rather than your eyes, then that's an option. But otherwise, yeah, thank you so much for joining in, and we're just waiting for Just waiting for Nate. So we'll just hold on off for a little bit while longer and rejoin in just a second. So I'm just actually gonna we can just hang out. That's fine.
Okay.
How's everyone in chat doing? People from chat say hi.
Here, send me a message to let me know the camera had been misaligned. Thank you.
That's good. Yep. Always good to have. Yeah, I've got a lot of things to look at. So it's always good to have people at home.
Yeah.
Thank you, people at home,
Am
for
I
helping us out.
Too low. The blanket and I were not. The cushions and I were not getting along. So I think.
You look pretty good on my screen
Okay.
for you, but
Alright.
I'll see how it adjusts once this one catches up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's much more comfy now, actually.
Okay.
Now that I'm not like weirdly. Yeah.
Nice to meet.
And that one's not working. A-N.
Well-a-two.
Oh, hello.
Okay, we got Nate here. All right, we are going good. So, warm welcome here to Nate, our missing player here. As we're just about to start, we are live, but feel free to give yourself a hot second to get comfortable. As I was just saying, we'll be getting started here pretty soon, but we'll have lots of different ways for people to actually engage with us. So, and please, feel free to leave little comments and things like that. I'll try and get to them and stuff like that. Oh, there we go. We got.
I keep dropping it. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll replace my one with that.
Sorry, I forgot.
You can eat the pie, though. You can eat the pie.
All right, so we've got we've got models for when combat breaks out, and it looks like Nate just got
It's never enough.
Nate just got his. We've got some stand-ins for now, and we're actually got some special ordered ones coming down the pipeline. It looks like Nate's just arrived, so we'll be happy to display those. So yeah, hopefully all these show up. For now, this is going to be Felina's character, Tanyl. Hopefully this is coming through okay. Then we've got Nate's character, very modest. This is Alistair, with his little, very nice small assistant. Just hand me this. This is going to be Renostos' stand-in for now. That's going to come down the pipeline as a furbolg later on. And then can I get the other models, please? Thank you. This is going to be Slate, Brandon's character. And this is going to be our stand-in for Anitka, Megan's character. And last but certainly not least, the Lady Flo, Sarah's character for now. So we'll go ahead and get going with that. Those of you who are a little softer spoken, I'm going to try and ask you to speak up a little bit. I'm messing with the volume best I can, but try and project, especially those of you who are on my left. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and get started here right away. So, welcome to Lumoria, and welcome to Dragon Poet Society. This is going to be The Dance of Light and Dark, Episode 1. So, welcome to Lumoria. We begin our tale in the year 430 AC, or after Chronosa. The continent of Lumoria dances in both light and shadow, as the eternal and stationary sun, known as Sol by many, is affixed to the northern axis of the planet. Bands of sunlight descend in heat and brilliance as one travels southward to the moonless, icy finality that is the shade-written night wall at the base and barrier at the end of the world, a black, endless frost of flickering shadow. The peoples of Lumoria span the continent and its light bands, from scorching deserts in northern Umara to the icy darkness and islands in and around Skefmir to the south. In the nation of Umara to the north, it is a nation built upon trade princes and their principalities. Umara has its heritage deeply rooted in the genies of all elements that once lived there. Still, such heritage is prized among their culture. From the Alavexian spine to the lush jungles of Theba, Umara is a land of many disparate tribes and peoples that work in concert, often in peace and in trade, specializing in magics of sun and flame. The opposite cousin to Umara, to the far south, is Skefmir, a hard land that breeds hard folk. Endless night leaves the races of the Skefmiran pale and gifted with night-seeing. They have deep sense of community and survival-oriented trials that many exterior nations view as quite harsh, but they have never lived a day amidst the cold nightmares that stalk the lands beyond the Sancturian Barrier Mountains. Most scattered of all the Lumorians are the Verdans, caretakers and nomads of forest and earth. They are followers of spirit, past and present, and the Verdans care deeply for the nature and thrive in sharing their magnificent woodcraft, fruits, and cloud carvers to ensure the adherence to the Rain Pact, a cooperative front of weathermancy that enables Verda, Umra, and another nation, Sanctus, to all have sufficient crop-producing opportunities. Along the Verdant Sea, Verdans trade with the seafaring Sunswell Islanders, their air and water descendants of Umra, and many sailing masters that call the Isles home, as well as their other neighbors. Least known and most secluded of all the Lumorian cultures and nations, Evermont is a remote island off the continent's far eastern coast. Little is known about them, but many whisper that they are backward and primitive, while others state that they forgo material possessions in favor of spiritual ones. South of the Verdans is a sad, large swath of land that spans a wide body in Lumoria, the Scouring and Twilight Lands, old and darkened lands, the shattered remnants of the vast empire known once as the Duovian Great Reach. Few travel to these old ruins, and fewer still ever return. Those who do never speak of what they find, or hardly ever again at all. This story, however, begins in the nation of Sanctus. Built from the westernmost remnants of the Duovian Great Reach, the nation is split between two reaches around its two largest and most prolific cities. The shaded reach of Shadvir to the south, and the radiant reach of Solni to the north. Bitter rivals, these two reaches often see themselves as separate nations, save for in times of war. At the beating heart of the radiant reach, there is the shining city of Solni. Ruled by the Archon of Radiance, Yaila Illuvinet, the now aging heir to one of Solni's most prominent families, the city has seen a tightening in tax and on the most precious of lumen trade. At the heart is the soul of Solni and its power, the lumen, a large sphere of glass that holds and produces captured sunlight for a year before requiring refilling. Such a marvel has been put to use in a myriad of ways across the Radiant Reach, from underground farming to solar fire defenses, to the magnificent lambent ships of the Solnian Navy. Sanctus's iron control over the production and trade of lumens has seen its rivalry with Shadvir fiercen ever farther and worsen as those lands depend so heavily on the light of the lumen. These tensions have worsened of late, as shadowy flickers have been wrought across the south of Sanctus. Breaches of darkness into the mortal land, driving folk mad, or tearing them apart with nameless monsters. Such things have not yet surged far too north into the Radiant Reach, but Yaila Luvinet has tightened taxes and worked tirelessly with Sol's Church in the House of Dawn to quench these flaring shadows. Today, we begin modestly. 12 turnings, which are what pass for days on Lumoria, from the second shard of the year and Mid-Year's Day, a celebration in many faiths and cultures within and without the Radiant Reach. On this current auspicious turning, however, there has been a new and exciting development from the city's crier stones. These small stones, like obelisks of white pure stone, are inscribed with the rainbow prism of the Prismir symbol. And today, a crack and seam appears that splits apart the stone, as you have heard it do and seen it do on many occasions. It forms a mouth, a black mouth-like appearance that takes to the stone. The mouth remains stationary, but open as the message pours out and repeated once before snapping shut and becoming seamless arcane stone once more. Calling all adventurers, come and present yourself to the Lorehold Hall of the Rainbow Complex to enroll in the Lorebright Program and earn a new and free item of arcane knowledge and wonder, the Lorebright Stone. As you explore and plunder, earn coin and knowledge for your wonder. Calling all adventurers, come enroll in the Lorehold Hall of the Rainbow Complex. And now, as that announcement has resounded and drawn many, no doubt, to the Rainbow Complex, we begin our tale here at the center of the city of Solni, Whitewater Square. This is the proud centerpiece of a proud city. An island with pristine watery canals that surround it. Masterfully architected bridges of stone span the gaps connecting the mainland of the city. It is home to some of the most grandiose and glorious structures in all of Sanctus. The amazing High Soul Seat, the castle of the Glimmer Council, and the Radiant Archon herself. Chronosa, the great clock tower that stands at the heart of the calendar and all the machinations of the nation. More humble than maybe of these two other things is, to the south of the square, the Mist Gardens, the place where the Cloud Carver Conclave makes its home in Sanctus, in Solni, and keeps its lush greenery growing. But you are not in any of these places. You are not focused on any of these places. Instead, you are at the northwesternmost corner of Whitewater Square, at the Rainbow Complex. There are 6 towers, each rooted and roofed in different colors of the rainbow, adjoined to a lower hall, all flanking a campus of brick and well-paved flagstones. Each represents a focus of magical purveyance and is home to the Prismere, the governing body of the arcane here in Sanctus. Brightly colored prisms can be seen milling about, with different colors in their braids to indicate rank. There, a red braid, the lowest recognized rank. Here, a prism shows all the colors through blue in her braided hair, from red to orange and so on. At the culmination of the road, there is the great violet candle, home to Marzulin Sundere, the violet high color of the Prismere, and, it is said, master of uncounted mysteries held within the colored house of information. Today, there are countless motleys milling about the complex, all lining up around the green tower and its hold, the lore and lore-sharing division of the Prismere. You can readily identify those who are not Prism. Their clothes, their weapons, and armor betray them as adventurers. Dozens of parties, varying parties, dramatically in experience, from scarred to greener than grass, and all are forming into lines and moving with a restless excitement to enlist in this new program. And this is where we begin our adventure. Already set up in pre-met organization and group in trios from past experience, history, or taking jobs together, we have the beginning of our campaign. Take it away, guys. What are you doing?
And it begins.
And it begins.
Tanyl, I am standing with my eyes closed like this. Just kind of not, just doing this. Bandaged hands.
Get some music going here.
Are we in like a waiting room type of situation?
So you're outside in the campus, in the greenery. It's very well tended, well looked after, grass and other, it's like a college campus, grass and brick and very neat rows, but everyone is outside in lines towards this green roofed building, which is the lore sharing division.
If we're just waiting in line, you'll see my gal, Anitka. She's a half-orc. She's she's short for a human, but makes her really short for a half-orc. She has got some knitting in her hand, and the yarn ball is being held by a hand that appears to have a fingerless glove on it, and she's just sort of knitting, but also she's not looking at her knitting. She doesn't need to. She's also just sort of looking around, and then near her feet, you see not a lamb, but a mini sheep. And you've seen a lot of sheep, but you're like, that sheep sure seems to have resting bitch face.
Oh my god.
And despite this being Solni and very warm and sunny, she's clad in a sweater, she has gloves, and she has this huge blocky scarf. She's sweating a little bit, but she's trying not to let people know she is.
Okay, go ahead and make a perception check for me, Anitka.
Yeah.
You meant deception. Convince them you're not sweating.
How good are you at hiding those pit stains?
Perception, that is a strong 3.
Strong 3.
Excellent start to the game.
In this environment, with this clothing, despite any local experiences you might have, the ever-present, Southern California summer sun bearing down is adding some warmth to you and maybe is distracting you. But you stand there with Tanyl, and do you want to give us a little bit of a
So he's standing
description?
here in Anitka. So he is a half high elf, half drow. So he looks like a drow, just a little less dark gray, white hair. He is a medium height. He's not a super tall person. He is currently wearing what you think might be a bunch of dead animals. It's hide armor that you think, oh wow, he scavenged that or stole that, and yes, he did. And he is kind of trying to find shade and just stand there wincing. He looks, Anitka, you might notice that he smells of alcohol and looks very hungover, and that the last time you saw him, he did not have bandages on his hand, and those have appeared.
You seem to be looking well.
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, they do have a college here, so I think that can help with some of that.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
And you notice she does not look hungover, but she's also squinting a bit.
Okay. And they're joined by a third member of their little cadre. So
You would while I'm pulling out my notes. So I would be known only as the Cackler to these fine folks. So I'm just going to be sitting there, we're in line, so we're not really moving anywhere, correct?
yeah.
Sick. Okay, I'm just going to be sitting there, kind of just cross-legged on the ground, just kind of like, I'm a Kanku, so I'm just kind of making a little cow. Just
Okay.
not bothered by
any
anything.
further physical descriptions you'd like to give us?
Sure. So I'm kind of a shadowy looking figure, but Kankus are very overall pretty small. So I'm about 5 feet tall. Kind of a leathery raven face has clearly been scarred up by who knows what. Lots of little just kind of tool things kind of hanging off of my person, but most of them I kind of keep covered by my cloak, hood up. But you can kind of guess the little goggles that are sitting on my forehead. Yeah, you can't really tell how old I am just because of how kind of beat around I look, but you would guess I'd probably be in my late 30s, early 40s range.
Okay. Yeah, and you also probably be quite warm in this experience, but go ahead and roll a perception check for us as well, please.
Do I perceive anything today? Hopefully better than a 3. It is better than a 3.
Is it a 4?
It is not a 4. It is much better than a 4.
It's a 5.
Just keep saying numbers and you'll get there eventually.
6.
Perception is gonna be, that's pretty solid, 17.
Okay, 17. You've got a little bit more of a, maybe pulling your goggles over your eyes and peering around a little bit. You've got a little bit more of a take on sort of the circumstance. And you pick up that of all the parties that are here, other adventuring groups, you're the only trio that you immediately see. But for one other that is not too far, standing in an adjacent line.
Most of them seem like larger groups or smaller?
Most of them
groups?
seem larger.
Okay.
At least 4 members.
Okay.
And you notice quite a few. A couple stand out to you. It seems like there's one that is comprised of all Goliaths, who are all very extremely tall individuals. 4 or 5 of them that are around 7 to 8 feet tall. So they're drawing looks, and they're armed and armored to the teeth, and look like they've come a long way. But you do notice another trio, and feeling a little outnumbered, you kind of fixating on them a little bit more, perhaps, in comparison with all these other groups milling around.
Okay. I'll look at my 3 and just kind of nod towards them. Kind of do that weird little bird nod.
Side-eye bird hilt.
Okay. So that's what you guys are.
Is he trying to say something to us?
Well, it's so hard to tell with him, but
In perfect mimicry. It's so hard to tell with him.
Oh my gosh.
it's really quite odd when he does that, don't you think?
Just a little.
Anyway, I think he's pointing towards those 3.
And as he points, you see another sort of trio team, kind of looking a little fresher around the ears than the Goliaths and some of the other more veteran-looking adventurers. And you see a trio, and among those trio, we have a Furbolg. So go ahead and let's hear about him.
So you probably would notice him first. Well, I can't say because I don't. I would imagine you would, because he's a large shape who is standing in line, but kind of pacing back and forth, and he's overpacked. He's got backpack full of stuff, things hanging off the backpack. Just brought way too much stuff to this group. You look around, no one else has brought nearly as much stuff as he has. And in his backpack at the very top, he has a potted plant that has a little bit of a leaf that comes over his head and provides just the tiniest amount of shade for him.
Adorable.
He's a fearful, so he's probably like 7.5 feet, really tall, but not like beefy, but just big. Big and maybe like a little bit uncomfortably large. So he's kind of like hunched over, pacing around. As he moves, his little leaf is bopping with him, and ears are just, listening, probably picking up a little Kenku making weird noises over there. And this is Renostos, so he'll turn to his trio and say, "Well, do you think that we're in the right place? It seems like the lines are going so slow, and I don't know where we're supposed to be."
All right, and joining him are another tall individual. Go ahead and let's hear about your character, Brandon.
Okay, so this is Slate. If he was tall at 7.5 feet, Slate's even bigger. He's 8 feet tall. He ain't slouching. He's standing just straight up, not moving, hand on the hilt of a long sword. He's just wearing hide armor with it looks like ragged clothing beneath, from what you can see. His eyes are closed. He looks like he has maybe a week's worth of after shaving your head kind of a thing.
Stubble.
Fuzz.
Yeah, stubble fuzz.
No facial hair. He's some mixture of gray and blue on the more pale side of things. Other than that, he has a shield on his back, and he's just standing around waiting. He's not going to say anything. He's just going to tilt his head a little bit towards you.
Is he a
And head
Goliath?
back. He is a Goliath.
Goliath, okay.
And we've got our final, last but certainly not least character. Sarah, go ahead and you might have something to say for Renostos' request.
I made it hotter than a bloody summer!
I love it. Inspiration.
It's not that bad, just a normal day. I thought you were gonna buy some comfortable clothes.
Speaking of clothes, what is your character wearing? What's she look like?
When you're looking at my character, she's kind of dwarfy in comparison to these other two around her. Very blue skin, dark blue hair, but her hair looks like it's somehow flowing in water even though she's standing on land. So she has her hair tied back, she's got scarves, she's got, something tied around her neck, earrings, accessories, white shirt, brown leather vest, looking like she's just stepped off of a ship and is very impatient in line. So Flo's gonna wander around these two as she's trying to find something to do.
Flo, you could put your scarves in my backpack if it's too hot. I've got space, so you might have to move some things around.
Nah, May, this is my go-to.
Well,
This doesn't leave this neck.
maybe we should go find somebody and ask if we can expedite this process.
Go ahead and make a perception check for Renostos.
Oh, I didn't mention. Oh, jeez, I didn't mention. My guy is an old man, so please bear with me as I try to make my old man voice.
Yeah, we're not voice actors. This is just for the fun, and I love that everyone's making an effort for it. So
Speak
that's
for
great.
yourself.
You said perception?
Yes, please.
9.
Okay. There's a bit of a hubbub and stuff, but you do notice that the lines aren't moving a ton, mostly because it seems like there's only a few of them, and it seems they're leading to a green-robed, really brightly green-robed individual, and that this individual is taking a long time. It's an elf, taking a long time with each group. Talking to them, it looks like. You can't make out what they're saying, and it's a lot of hustle and hubbub and stuff like that. But as you're sort of peering around and kind of wondering aloud and asking your compatriots if you're in the right place, you notice someone standing in line, the party standing just ahead of you. And one of the individuals, it seems like there's 5 of them, and they all seem rather well-to-do with their armor and things like that, sort of done in fashion as well as style, but practical, but with some filigree done to it. And one of them turns to you. It's a human lady with dark hair, high cheekbones, so the complexion of someone who's pale but spends a lot of time outside. She's got an embroidered eye patch, golden thread, and she's got golden tassels coming off of both of her pauldrons. She has what looks like a lute mixed with a crossbow strapped to one hip and a rapier on the other side.
Nice.
And she turns to you. She says, "Ah, new adventures, is it? Well, best you hope don't compete with those lot." And she gestures to the group of Goliaths up ahead. Whole lot of them is from Skefmere, where it is, and bet they're a bit bloodier than all the rest of us Northerners. But how are you doing?
Oh, I didn't know this was a competition. Was this a competition? I thought it was just everybody.
Oh, I'm sure we're all going to be put to use of some sort, but no matter what happens, life's a competition.
I guess you could say
I'm
that.
Aurelia, by the way. Aurelia Scovin.
Nice to meet you. Renostos.
Nice, yeah, Renostos. Yes, I'm Scovin. Do you know of the Scovin family?
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I should just preempt and say I'm not a very good Scovin. I'm not very good at being a Scovin,
Oh,
I should say.
okay.
I have little patience for money lending and debt collection. Not really my deal. I'm more prefer listening to others, singing songs, telling tales, adventure. Doesn't have a lot of place for that with my family, and
But
so...
you keep the flair.
Well, I've earned it. In fact, all of it has come from my own adventuring experience, as has all of my companions, and she gestures to the rest of them. You see what looks like a gold, or gold red, perhaps, dragonborn. You see a strange-looking tiefling individual who seems to have kind of a strange shape to their jaw and their kind of a more hunched like perception. You see an individual, human-looking, who has like kind of purplish eyes, and what looks like an individual who's just fully covered in black. You can't really make out much more other than you guess it's a female, but you're not sure. We're the Misblooded. We're rejects of a sort. Noble families, all that sort of thing, wealthy families that don't get it. Understand the call of adventure, as it were. But I'm willing to bet you do. Is this all to your party? You might find that three's a bit too few when it comes to real trouble rearing its head. Just a friendly piece of advice.
We did have a little bit of a hard time with those wolves. We managed, but we didn't come up with a name for ourselves. I mean, we kicked the shit out of those wolves.
Go ahead and make a deception check.
We punched him. It was fine.
Flo's like leaning against Slate as like a wall, but he's just there and it's like, you
that's
should have seen
18.
this guy.
18. She kind of squints and is like, I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, my dear man. No name for the three of you just yet?
No.
Oh, well, no matter. I'm sure you'll come up with something good. No matter. I'm sure you'll come up with something good down the line.
Your group here, you find that this is the ideal number for adventuring? No quarrels, no...
They follow my lead, but we all have our say, and it's certainly helpful to have a broader range of skills when it comes to dealing with more epic enemies, as it were. But I'm sure you'll be able to find some. It seems like there's quite a turnout today, and there might be a few stragglers here and there looking to team up. Perhaps we'll team up down the line once you've gotten a little bit more down under your belt.
Do you, in your professional opinion, see anybody in line that you might recommend?
Well, I suppose if you'd like me to do all the work for you.
Some of the work.
Well, fair enough. It looks like there's a trio not too far yonder in that line there. I'm sure you could convince them to come on over and join us.
What do you guys think?
Slate will just shrug.
Okay.
I would have kind lass, and I like start walking over to the other group.
Thank you very much.
Enthusiastic, this one.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'll keep your place if you'd like. You're welcome to join in. And she kind of turns to the group of adventurers behind you, and she kind of looks at them with her one eye, and is like, "That's okay, right?" Yeah.
Thank you. That's very kind and terrifying.
I try to strike that balance. I'm glad you noticed.
And I'll kind of tamper after Flo. Slate, are you coming?
Slate.
What is that? Nope, he's staying there.
Okay, well,
I'm gonna like look back and see if he's there, and since he's not moving, I'm gonna like trot back and like try to stand behind him and just like push, even though I'm going
Make
nowhere.
a strength check.
do we see
Yeah,
this
go ahead and make a
going
perception check.
Everyone,
Yeah.
a 1.
Oh, that one. Okay.
No,
Oh,
it's an unnatural.
a 1 with modifiers.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
You're
It's a negative.
feeling like the equivalent of like a leaf brush up against her back ever so slightly, and you're pretty sure you like waver back toward her more than in the direction she's pushing. Those of you who rolled perception checks, Tanyl, what'd you get?
15.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
9.
Okay, so the two of you are noticing this unusual situation, or rather, lesser armed, perhaps, Goliath being attempted to be pushed by a flamboyantly dressed individual. And you also see Renostos, the well-dressed older furbolg with the plant, coming up and approaching you. So, what are you doing?
Well, at the sight of... I am personally fascinated by this furbolg with the plant and the blue lady approaching. So I'm going to pull out my glasses and put them on and hit a little button, and they turn dark. And suddenly Tanyl is not quite as grumpy. And there's a very blue woman trying to come towards us.
Did you see the guy with the plant too? With the shade.
The plant is. I'm intrigued. That's a very smart idea.
You don't have to be intrigued too long, because it's not too far between the lines. And Flo and Renostos quickly close the gap on their prey, the quarry, as it were.
Waving like at you guys as if.
And you're drawing eyes at this point amongst many of the other party members. You see one of the Goliaths kind of look and go, and kind of just like heft a shoulder, and it's just like a symphony of crackles as he does.
Hello.
Oh, me hearties!
You are very
Are you
blue.
adventurers too?
You're very blue.
We
You're
would-
very blue.
We would quite.
Honestly, this accent is so hard. How do my friends do this?
Right. I think what we're trying to be, go out, find different things. Well, yeah, quite. I like your scarf.
Oh, thank you. You have a very nice voice, by the way.
Thank you.
very
It comes
soothing.
and goes.
so I have some intel that might interest you.
Okay, we're all just...
Yeah, I'm still sitting on the floor, by the way. Like I'm looking at the way up, and I go, Intel.
Yes, some inside information, if you will. So, if you will see that person there, and I'll point in, it was Ariel?
Aurelia.
Aurelia's direction.
Is it somebody I would have known or recognized, potentially?
Make an intelligence check.
Don't be dumb.
Oh, I'm dumb. That's a 3. That's a 3.
You're familiar with many well-dressed individuals, even well-dressed adventurers, but you don't recognize her specifically.
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure how long you guys have been in line, but this seems to be like a very long process. And I've recently discovered that it is also a competition. And if you would take a moment and look around at our competitors, you might find that all of them are in large groups.
This is going to be so fun.
So this Aurelia individual that I indicated over there with the fancy armor and professional-looking adventurer group vibe has suggested possibly maybe banding up with another group to increase our odds at getting a good adventure. What say you?
You.
Is it Attenborough? Is it?
I was thinking mine was going to be Brussels sprouts.
Everyone's got to have a mantra.
still works.
Is it just the two of you? I couldn't quite tell if you were trying to fight that guy very unsuccessfully or if you're friends. It was slightly unclear.
That's Slate. He's a big
holding
boy.
our place in line, which looks like it's ahead of yours. So
Indeed it is.
could be a mutually beneficial situation.
I mean,
Y'all should come join us. Party!
It will be a party.
As the sleep bounces.
Party.
Tanyl, I've just been watching the leaf. I'm completely mesmerized by the leaf.
Anitka is sort of like grabbing her knitting close to her. Okay. Well, I could use more people to help me try to do the things I want to do, I guess. Cackler, do you have any opinions?
We got attacked by wolves and almost died.
Wolves and almost like.
We need... Yes. Plural, wolves. Death, almost.
I don't know what else I know I can say.
Anything that's been said so far.
Party.
Very good listener, this one.
Yes, no, he's a very good listener. Listens to all you say. It's getting him to stop repeating it that's the main issue.
Would make a fantastic student.
Fantastic.
Are you interested? Oh, that's an affirmative sort of noise.
Guys, watch this. I'll nudge you and be like, Aurelia is stupid.
That's a much louder. I really am stupid.
You see Aurelia like turn and kind of like cock an eyebrow and kind of.
It was in your voice, not mine.
Oh
What?
no.
And
What have we done?
actually, what I'm very curious about is that plant thing. Is that like a plant? Is that like a magic thing?
This...
Magic plus.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm so glad that you asked about
it's so cool.
However,
Ah,
I
here
would
we
love
go
to
again.
tell you about this over our course of adventuring.
I kind of stop looking at the plant and realize, I kind of look off to my side a bit and sigh and whatever. Off? Well, sure, why not? Let's go.
As you guys are talking, the Goliath in front of you turns around, and this guy is built. He's probably about twice as thick as Slate, of a height with him, 8 feet. He's bald, but he's got what look like tattoo marks around his chin. And he says, "Hey, are you gonna be talking the whole time while we're in line?"
Feel free to join us.
Are you looking for an adventuring party?
We already have one. No offense, but feels like you got to earn a few more scars. You might still shit grass. You're a little too green over there.
Well, the whole idea behind my proposal to these folks is that I don't have to get any more scars. Because I would be
Typical
protected.
Northerners. Just leave them. And one of the younger, you looking and a little shorter looking Goliaths kind of pulls it and he's like, "What? I was just saying hi."
It's nice to meet you.
Speak for yourselves, and I'm gonna just grab my two and let's go and push him over to the other line.
Well, I'm so glad that you agreed. I am Renostos. It's a whole bunch of noises to make in your mouth, so if you want to just say Ren or Nostos, or if you want to go with Renostos, whatever suits you.
I love
You're
it.
quite. You talk a lot, don't you?
Well, I just like to find someone who would listen and wants to hear about the things that I have to say.
You come alive as you're like crossing the grass to your place in line with Slate, and you sort of see Aurelia like turn to you, each of you. Well, you make an impression. Not known for subtlety, I suppose, but maybe you'll learn. It's nice to.
Next time I'll slip them a note, and it will have 2 boxes. and it will say, "Would you like to join my party? Please circle yes or no."
Well, I mean, it's nice to see that you've got a little bit of enthusiasm in you, at least. Are you staying here in the city, all of you? I'm Aurelia, by the way, Aurelia Scovin. We already had the whole discussion. Yes, very nice. We already had the whole discussion about my heritage, but let's not get into that again. In any case, are you all staying here new in the city, or local?
Local.
That is
Yes,
a
I thought you might
complicated question, but the embroidery on that eye patch, it's exquisite.
Thanks, I did it myself.
Ooh, you have quite the dexterous hand, and she has
I've been told that before.
been.
Oh.
Kind of like rests her hand on her rapier.
Oh, quite good, quite. She's blushing.
Well, it's just gonna like strut up and be like, "So what's behind the patch?"
Quite nothing, in fact. I'm missing an eye, and so most folk get a little disturbed and keep it down for, don't worry about it.
Eye patches are the newest fashion. I want to get one of my own one day.
Well, I'm sure a few of the adventuring parties here might be willing to oblige you on that fact, but maybe step a little more carefully around some of the folk you don't know. Might help you a little bit more, but it's good to good that I'm here to help. And one of her party mates, sort of long-haired guy with sort of squinting, and you see like a flash of purple in his eyes, and he says, "Come on, Relia, I'm hungry. Let's get this over with." And he's like, "Yes, 1 minute, Leomon. We all know. Yes, we'll all get something to eat together. Just a minute. Look, I know what it's like to be a new starting adventurer myself. All of this," she taps like the golden tassels and filigree on her shoulder, "this is earned, not family money. And that first big score makes all the difference in the world. It sets you up, especially with the new taxes coming down. Everything's a little bit more expensive here. I understand, I get it. And I have a soft spot for some of my, fellow up-and-coming adventurers. And so perhaps there's a, way that I can help you get your feet under you. Interested?"
Feet under me.
"Yes, indeed. Or in your case, talons, my good man."
Did I catch her say that she thought I might be a local?
Yeah, you heard it.
Okay, I'm just kind of squinting at her, like, "I know you? Do I know you? Do I know you?" And I'll ask that out loud.
Well,
No tact.
my family's quite well known, and I have a good sense for people. Usually a good guesser, as it were. You play in a lot of taverns, you get to know the way of people. In any case, the job at hand. I might not be a very well-loved family member of the Scovins, but I still do care for them. And, look, the last I heard, and she kind of gets a little quieter, whisper and word says that a cousin of mine from the Scovin family, Hector, has gotten into some trouble. Not too surprising, given him, but he's gone missing of late. It's all hush-hush, you understand. But you could earn some good coin and some good favor by finding him. The last I heard, he was partying down Revelry Row on the Guildwater side of things. I'm sure if you asked around, you'd be able to turn him up. There's not a lot of love lost in my family and me. As far as I know, they might, in fact, blame me for getting him into trouble or something stupid like that. But if I can help you smooth things over with them, and I'm sure they'd be happy to avoid any kind of embarrassment. Reputation is everything to the noble families.
Do you think that it is an embarrassing affair?
Oh yes, of course. The heir to the family of Scovin, partying on Revelry Row. None of the houses in Jewel's Ward? Oh, my family would not stand for it. Mm-hmm. I think it's hilarious, but there you go.
I'm also smirking and nodding like.
And those of you who are from the city or have visited before, you know that Revelry Row is home to a lot of revel dens, mostly to the icons to the masked reveler, but are a little bit more on the seedy, more affordable side of things as they border Tradestow Ward, the Guildwater Stalls, and the slum that is the Salt Poles.
I don't know. What do you think? New friends?
Well, I could use some coin, about some of the travels and finding stuff I want to do later. I think coin might be good to, when we get out of the city.
My own coin, yes.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of work, city work to be done here, I'm sure, and all the way around. We'll be heading south ourselves once we finish up here. It looks like it's almost our turn. We want to take a look at Nerwall, so it'll be a good venture southerly.
Well, thank you, Aurelia. We'll definitely check it out.
My pleasure. And Renostos, right?
Yes.
Very well. It was a pleasure to meet you, Renostos and Co. And, well, it looks like it's our turn. And she heads up to the elf there, the green-robed elven man there, and he's kind of going through a lot of the motions. The rest of the party's kind of hanging back, especially the all over covered in black leathers individual, and standing next to, you think her maybe, is the man who was complaining about being hungry and waiting in line. But they're just all waiting their turn, and you're kind of seeing a few of the other adventuring parties, a few newer ones kind of collecting together. One kind of a mixed motley where they're kind of jumping up and down. A couple of them are kind of restlessly nervous and excited. A couple more serious ones. The Goliaths are obviously turning a lot of heads. A lot of eyes are peering your way after some of your more showy introductions, but kind of the show has, briefly moved on, and the drudgery of standing in line is continuing. So is there anything you guys are doing while waiting for your turn?
I'm going to quietly stare at the big Goliath and just stare at him.
His eyes are closed. He doesn't care.
Do I see anything like on the ground around me, or is it just like plain? Is it just grass? Like,
Go ahead and make a perception check.
well, it's just grass, all right.
What do you get?
6.
6. It's cobblestones with neatly trimmed lawn.
Okay.
So you're standing on the stones or sitting on the lawn, whichever you prefer.
I'll sit on the lawn, but I'm going to be just kind of like picking up little piles of rocks and making like little like
towers.
Like the Olympic statue kind of thing, like where it's like there's like the thing, and then it's like a little person, like making little people sculptures out of the rocks. Just like,
Okay, I like it. Very nice.
Renostos is watching him make the rock people.
I'll just try to make it like kind of walk around a little bit. It's kind of like,
Oh, excellent! And I'll come up and I'll tap one of them and also make it walk around a little bit. Wonderful.
I like pat the ground next to me, like take gesturing to like take a seat.
Oh, I would love to. And this giant man just sits on the ground.
So what can I do with prestidigitation?
Well, as you guys are
Playing with
around
rocks.
with the rocks, you notice that Aurelia is finished and she's come back. She's carrying a bright green large stone that she quickly tucks into her robe, and she says, "Well, I guess that's us off." And again, the guy who complained before is like, "Oh, finally, I'm starving." She says, "All right, let's get you something to eat. Good to meet you all, and good luck to you."
Well, how did it go?
You'll see.
Oh,
Take care.
okay.
And you see now, no one left at the front of the line. You just see, "Next, please." And you see a half-elf, now that you see he's of half-elven descent, looking at him closer, of innocuous height. He's sort of beckoning you forward. His robes and in the final knot of his braid are the same emerald green, with preceding colors of the rainbow up his hair. His graceful features and hair emphasize the elven ears and the shining blue eyes, sort of favoring the elven side. And beside him is a chest that he reaches deeply into as you are approaching. And he withdraws an emerald stone the size of a large egg, the same kind that you saw Aurelia stashing. It looks like it's covered in golden arcane glyphs. And on its other side is an unfurled scroll with a quill that is writing on its own accord, jotting down answers, as you see the line next to you doing the same thing, getting answers to group names as they are presenting themselves. Ah, come forward, new adventurers, and enroll in the Lorebright Program. Come. Is there a registered name that we can put you under?
So Aurelia's comment, this is Felina out of character, about Renostos and company made me think of the Rencos. Like Renco, like Renostos and Co. Yeah, the Rencos.
Well, I can put you down for undecided, but I will need each of your names.
I mean, we did just meet.
A decision rushed is a bad one indeed. Undecided.
Undecided it is, and undecided under the names of
Renostos.
Renostos. Very nice to meet you.
Flo,
very nice to meet you. And you see the quill. And you?
Anitka, and she's looking very just at the quill and almost like she's trying to figure out how it works. And sort of half bowing towards the elven man.
Yep, Anitka. Very nice.
He still won't open his eyes, and I'll just say Slate.
Sleepy Slate, got it?
Not quite, but you know.
I'll say like the Cackler in like 15 different voices, like just completely different. Just like go down the line.
Many names. Nice.
Tanyl Kanara.
Of the Kilnaras. Lovely. I am Vulumaith Osoko. If ever you need any further questions, feel free to call my name and present yourself here at the Loreholt Hall, and you, I'm sure, will be able to find me and get your answers to your questions.
How do I spell that?
That is spelled Vula.
Vula.
Maythe.
Okay.
And Osoko is spelled Ossoco.
Okay, thank you.
All right. He says, well, this is a auspicious new beginning with the Lorebright Program. With these stones, the more you venture forth, the mere knowledge, and the more you venture forth, the more knowledgeable and wealthy this stone and this program will make you. Press your stone to fierce monsters, strange relics, and written mysteries. It will fill the stone with Lorebright, a sort of arcanely recorded information. If you return to any Lorebright hold throughout Sanctus, just like the one here at the Rainbow Complex, and he points to the green-roofed low building, you can exchange captured Lorebright for coin or information of your choice of similar value. You can even accrue long-term Lorebright to attain further high-class information. You can give yourself an edge against a monster. You can research a deep magical mystery. Anything that we have recorded, or other adventures indeed having recorded, can be accessed through the Lorebright Program, depending how much Lorebright or coin that you are willing to spend for it. Premiums are placed, of course, on regarding the history of the Dwarvian Great Reach, as well as, and he kind of leans forward quietly, these ever-increasing flickers. Are there any questions? You'll need one individual to focus on the stone and partner with its magic, but of course you can change hand as you need, depending on the circumstances, as you go through your adventuring duties.
So it's a recording device.
Of a sorts of information, not verbal spoken, but what you take in as the paired partner with the stone might also record mysteries that you uncover, books that you read even, as well as creatures and items that you touch the stone to and anomalies that you witness. All of it recorded through the clever mastery of Lorebright magic that we have attained here. It is a very fruitful opportunity indeed, being able to rise to high success. Anyone can rise with the program using information, knowledge. They can better themselves, learn farther, or of course they can earn coin if that is more of your preference.
I mean, but what do you do with all this info once we put it in the stone? Is it all come to you?
It all goes to the prisoner, yes, and it is filtered up to the... And he gestures to the violet candle, filtered up to the Department of Information, and processed such that it can be used both for the betterment of all, via the Library of Candles, and the presentation of other information for any to research, as well as for us to further our knowledge of bestiary and historical significance. That is why we have placed those premiums that I mentioned.
And if people with the wrong intentions get on this information?
Well, I assure you that with the limiting law, we have a fantastic way to curtail any abuse of such information.
You'll
Sounds
notice,
vague.
You'll notice
But
when he
okay.
says that, I'm like very much like standing at the back of the group, just kind of like skulking. a little bit.
The limiting law is the magic thing, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Which I will say, but that doesn't apply to all magic users.
Indeed, we have our own internal affairs, as it were, that, of course, investigates any concerns, as well of nefarious individuals, and as well we report to, of course, the laws and the authority of Illuvinet, the Radiant Archon, the Glimmer Council, and of course, Marzulin Sundere, the High Color of Information. He has proven himself with dedication since the inception of the city. Since he has risen to the seat of Violet High Color, he has done much to aid us in our research, and it has been his crucial hand behind many of the dissemination of skilled engineering projects and other works. Surely you recognize what this opportunity means for you. The stone could be the key to a bigger life, a better life for all of you. It is free if it is free. You needn't do it. But notice that there are many other adventurers who are in fact signing on. They might have quite a edge over you in their own experiences. In fact, you might find that you fall behind the times if you do not keep up with such developments. And he's kind of clearly like he's used to his little script, and he's not used to like people questioning this, and he's just kind of like. But of course you'd want this. It's awesome.
Can
He's a
you
salesman.
Yeah.
can you keep tabs on your adventurers? Like make sure they're doing all right and doing okay with this stone?
You misunderstand. The stone itself, of course there were already people who were going to be ferreting out information, fighting monsters and all that sort of thing. This stone doesn't get... This stone allows that information to be recorded, but it must be returned here to one of these Lorehold halls to be processed, to be rewarded. The information in itself is worthless until it comes back to one of our facilities. Therefore, it is much easier to prevent abuse of power. Of course, there are shady characters. Of course, there are individuals who might misuse the tools, just as that gentleman's sword, as he gestures to Slate, might be misused by someone of malign intent, but it can also be used for great and good, too. I'm sure you understand this. All tools can be abused, but we do the best to progress, nonetheless.
We could gain quite the amount of information, and I think this could be a good tool, but I don't know.
It seems like it's just gonna record us doing things that we'd want to be doing anyways.
And,
I'm just gonna reach out and grab it.
Wonderful.
Decision made.
Oh, and I should mention, it's not recording you, necessarily. It is simply recording what you gather. And, of course, it is being used for the betterment of all. The more that we learn how to overcome monstrous creatures and enemies, the more we learn how to use magical artifacts for the betterment of everybody, the more lives will be saved. The fewer will succumb to the creatures of the night and darkness.
That sounds admirable.
She's like eyeing him, like squinting her eyes at him, like does she feel like she can trust this guy?
Make an insight check.
At the creatures of the night, Tanyl rolls his eyes.
That's funny.
He is very sincere. He believes very strongly in the importance and how good this will be for people.
Okay.
And you get the sense that, like, this guy clearly presents himself as a knowledge is not only power, it's the answer to all problems. It's the more people that we have that are educated, who have information, the better the world will be.
Do you have a comment card?
We do not, but perhaps I can write it. I can ask Scrolfie here to record it for me if you have something you'd like to put underneath your own.
If we're going to be sitting in queue like that for hours on end, the least you can do is hand out refreshments.
Oh, well, I am not sure that that's something my department specializes in.
Dehydration is very dangerous.
Well, I hope that you're able to manage that as an eventing
I had to
party on
spray
your
my
own.
plant 6 times.
Yes, well, that does happen. Wait a minute, what sort of plant is that?
This is none of your business. You can't just ask people what sort of plant that is. It's a thirsty plant is what it is.
I have a lot. Please, you must understand. I have a great curiosity. Surely you have respect for curiosity. A man of your talent.
Do I see a water skin on him?
On who? Vlomaith?
Yeah.
Or you don't really notice it under he just looks like he's wearing his robe. I mean, he's 10 feet from his building, so it's unlikely he'd need a skin.
So, seeing his genuine curiosity, Renostos' grumpy old man demeanor will kind of fade a little bit. Like, this is a rare specimen I brought from the north. This is a berry dream plant.
Oh, the berry dream. Very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Very interesting. It's been a while.
You're familiar.
I've heard of botanists, lore collecting botanists who have told of the berry dream and its powers. You were very lucky to have one. It's a
I
great
know
gift.
they're quite finicky and need constant care, though.
Yes, I'm sure, as many plants here do. Not one of the heat-producing plants either, so I imagine it requires either underground life or other shade and shelter from the sunlight, which is perhaps why you're having to water it so often.
Right, yes. If I wasn't standing in line for hours on end, I require shade.
Unfortunately, there aren't as many people who can answer barbed questions as easily as I amidst my order, and so... but I will take it under advisement to have more members to service the queues. In any way, undecided, varying party name, Renostos and Co. Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
And you carry away the stone, and as you sort of move off to the side, is there anything you guys are doing?
So, let's take a look at that fancy rock that man gave you. I'm gonna...
Take it.
I'm gonna pull out a additional monocle and just spend some time looking at it. You said that it has rune work on it. Do I recognize any of the shapes or anything?
Sure, go make an Arcana check for me, please.
Stand by. That is a 14.
Standing by.
For quite a long time, sorry.
No worries. 14. You notice that they seem to be of very high fidelity, is the first thing you're noticing. And it looks like there are some that are consistent with all the schools of magic, as well as some more advanced ones that are beyond your ken at the moment. It's not really your area of specialty.
Yep.
The little one might know more.
It's well done.
Oh, that's just quite fascinating. There are glyphs and you've got conjuration and transmutation, and she'd like to just take a really close look at it.
Okay, you can also make an Arcana check.
Stand by.
No worries, standing by.
Standby music.
Need a little elevator music.
That is an 8.
You also notice all the schools of magic. What's impressive about it is how they seem to be fit together so elegantly. It's like it's not just that they're glyphs; it also reads like a poem in some way.
This is fascinating.
Just sort of an elegantly engraved thing, and you get the sense that this is something that took a lot of work to do.
I would have to study for years to do something like this.
It's quite
So
magnificent.
intricate. You can see, and she's just... Whoever's next to her, maybe Slate, can see like the conjuration and the transmutation and...
Slate will actually reach down and just grab it and lift it up to take a look himself.
Okay. Did you also want to take an Arcana check?
Careful with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, why
Go
not?
for it. Go
He
for it.
has a surprisingly gentle hands.
Nimble.
That's the wrong character.
Balthier's Arcana.
This is what happens when we play 3 campaigns.
Yeah.
In one book.
I don't know what that is. We'll just say it was just a flat roll, which was 9.
9? Okay. Yeah, you don't notice anything in particular either, too much. You feel kind of like a strange tingle as you touch it. but otherwise it doesn't really do much more for you than that.
I want to
And when-
take a look too.
When Slate's eyes were
Sure,
open,
you can go ahead and make an Arcana check.
when Slate's eyes were open, they were like, so there's like the white of the Solera, right?
Yeah.
And then the actual eyes were even whiter than that. It's like almost like glowing kind of white.
Okay.
And just barely cracks his eyes open to look at it and closes them again.
Okay.
And then he'll,
22.
I guess, hand it to the Kenku.
Bend down, like bend over and hand it down.
It's like at waist height, he'll.
I'm gonna sniff it.
22. Again, it's very complicated, complex. This isn't really it's a deep kind of enchantment. It also seems like it's something to do with the substance of the stone itself that has some kind of resonant capacity. And you get the sense that it has ties to lots of other little things in it. You also get the sense that not only did this take a lot of time and study to create, but also that you could study this and continue to learn from it continuously.
Interesting. Just gonna shake it around.
What are you doing?
Does it rattle? What do you think?
Does it rattle?
No rattling. Seems like a solid stone.
Don't
Seems rather
break
light
it.
though for being a solid stone.
I'm kind of tossing it.
Don't break it!
I'll grab it out of here.
Thank you!
Okay. So you're seeing as the different parties are coming and going. Again, you're attracting some looks. You also are familiar with the concept that normally, this was a little bit of an exception. Normally, Whitewater Square requires approval to get into, to get over the bridges. And so now that the adventuring crowds are beginning to thin out, a few, like the Goliaths, kind of look at you, sort of, kind of move on. But you're noticing that some of the guard forces are kind of coming back to their stations and things like that.
We should go. Let's not
You're
tangle.
also sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, we should not tangle with the gods.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they just looks like they're getting back to being on shift. You're still seeing all the beautiful splendor of some of the most monumental crafts and structures that are here at the center of the city, including Cronosa and High Soul Seat, as well as, and like I said, the Mist Gardens to the south as well. So, what's everyone?
So we don't get to go see, we have to have permission to see the clock tower?
Everyone can see it from afar. It's 200 feet tall, so it towers above quite a lot of the city. You can see it from pretty much wherever, and you can hear it from even farther. But normally, yes, you don't get to just go up and touch it.
Well, I say on our way out we swing by Cronosa. Just, we don't get to do this quite often, and we kind of have an excuse to be here. Entertain
I think it's
an old
about
man.
that time.
That
She's gonna start skipping to the clock tower.
Okay.
Maybe we could find a place to get refreshments and discuss how we should move forward. Does that sound amiable?
That sounds quite nice. And at this point, she's put her knitting away, and she's picked up Mr. Mittens, and it's just...
That poor thing must be so hot.
Oh, don't worry. He's somewhat of a sheep, but not quite a sheep at the same time.
Oh, okay.
You head over to the tower, cradling a sheep. And
many
like I
sheep?
said, it's 200 feet tall, and there's a more sort of, the upper half of it is much more modern in construction, in sort of alignment with a lot of the buildings that those of you who have traveled around Solni more are quite familiar with at this point. And the bottom half seems to be built of what looks like ancient white stone. Very smooth, and what you're also noticing is it doesn't seem like there's any working lines. There's no, it looks like it's carved from all one piece. The glorious clock tower sits at the heart of both Whitewater and the city itself. It's in the center. I have my little map there that's in black and white. I'll be upgrading soon, but if you guys want to look and get a sense for things, feel free to pass that around. Its bell can be heard throughout the city, and its peak seen from nearly any place as well. Gleaming with its lumen-charged dome, several cylinders are set below the clock face in glass and are filled with varying colored globes of light. A new bell rings for each globe, the small grayish beads, each for each turning day. The larger, a lavender bead that marks the shards, or quartets, of the year, which are like their months, quarters. And finally, the golden orbs that proclaim the years. 430 of them are present.
Can we touch it?
There are guards around it. You could,
Okay, never mind.
And it seems like what's interesting about you can tell that they're guards, but they're not armed like the normal guards or the normal military force that you've seen before. These individuals seem to be wearing some sort of robe of like a glassy gold color. They don't seem to be carrying any obvious weaponry, and they have lavender masks.
Well, I
But
say
they're standing like sentinels.
we make our way towards Tradestone Ward and find a nice tavern there. Beautiful clock tower. I don't very often get to be so close to it.
Just quite nice.
Quite nice.
So you guys head over to one of the stone bridges,
Yeah.
exiting the area. And it's a kind of like going in and out of a stadium area. It's kind of, there's a lot of crowd moving, and you get to the sort of hustle and bustle of the city, the Tradestone Ward and neighboring Glint Top Ward, filled with sounds of mercantile efforts, people hawking fruit or metal, people working fruit or metal, and construction ever present in the Glint Top Ward, the engineers of the Mirror Forge ever present as well. You can see that off in the distance, glinting brilliantly. Almost immediately, two figures kind of stand out. Or one figure really stands out to a few of you, particularly to Anitka and Tanyl. You see what looks like an individual with a tussle of sort of graying red hair. It sort of sprouts from all angles. He's got sort of from his face and his head overall. He's trying with the mane to hide the balding top, unsuccessfully. It's a little tanned. Got sort of a mid to late aged gnome, about 3.5 feet tall, who has an immediately troublesome aura around him. With a glint in his one good eye, his dark eye. It's nearly as bright with a mischievous humor to his sapphire-like jewel, which is in his left. He carries with him a silver-topped cane that's topped with a cast metal hand that fits nicely between his fingers like an interlock of two lovers.
Aww.
And he walks with it perfectly steadily, no trace of a limp. His cloth is simple, but show very little sign of wear, and he covers most of his skin despite the warmth here in Solni. His smile is mischievous, and it reveals a few golden teeth. And he kind of looks over to Tanyl, and
At the sight, I just kind of like the biggest and most emotion you have seen. Tanyl just opens that Brody and just like walks forward.
oh yes, good, come, it's good to see you all here again, and it seems like you've made some new friends. It's nice to see that you've been getting a little bit further along these days. While that's happening, Slate, a small boy
Oh no.
comes running up to you.
Oh, okay.
An individual who clearly looks like a street urchin. Hair and skin are so filthy as to be indistinguishable for color. Dressed in rags, and comes up to you and starts pulling on fearlessly, right? This kid is, 4 feet tops, and he's pulling fearlessly on this 8-foot Goliath's tunic. Says, Hey, you Slate? Hey, you Slate?
Slate will look down, open his eyes a little bit, and say yes.
Hey, Cassiel said that I could come find you. He said that I should come find you, in fact. Oh man, I hope I remember all of it. He says he could use your help. Not his help, he's already there. Your help at the care tent. He said you'd know where that was. Anyway, bye! And he just hoofs it on his bare feet, just flap, 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 smacking on the cobblestones. You don't really notice this. You're too taken up in Brody giving what could be only described as much of a bear hug as a gnome can manage. to the two of you, and he says, "Oh well, I believe a round of introductions is to be had.
Quite right.
Let us walk and talk."
Quite right. And once she's out of the bear hug, she is checking her pockets.
Okay, make a survival check.
That is a number, probably. That is a 13.
13? Okay. Nothing seems to be missing that you have a catalog yet.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to check. No, Brody, it's fine.
Well, introductions, come now.
Well, we did make some new friends. I know you're familiar with that one.
Oh, yes, good to see you as well. And he kind of wraps his cane twice in the very, similar kind of sound on this cobblestone.
We met these three in line. They introduce yourselves.
Brody, is it? Hello, my name is Ren. Nice to meet you.
Oh, hello, Ren. Pleasure.
Pleasure.
Sorry, everyone. Slate's soft-spoken anyway. Still working on an accent, so he's just gonna say Slate. Move down the line. It's gonna be rich.
Man, a few words, but good muscles. I like it.
And then Flo will be like, "You can call me Flo."
You can call me Brody.
Brody, I'm a man.
Yeah, I know. In any case, there's quite a bit of bustle, I'm sure you've noticed. Every gutter snipe's got dreams of grandeur now with this Lorebright Program going on. Everybody wants to sign up for it. You know how it is. But you also know how I am. And because I'm nice like that, I've got a sort of job lined up just in time for this sort of deal. There's a bit of new work, to be going on. And I'm coming to you with to you first. Fun memories and all that. I'm a sentimentalist, you all know. It's a discreet sort of work. I'm sure you two can help educate you three, pardon, Mr. Cackler, the others as for such things. Particularly this one, although he's nice and soft-spoken, so that's helpful. But blending in, very important. In any case, the nature of the job. It's a recovery sort of job. Fairly simple. Promising coin up front, plus more on delivery. Probably a good chance there's some Lorebright value to be found too, if you're clever enough to find it. You know how it is. Plenty of work to be done all over, but this seems like the most promising job. Client says he'll drop 2 gold a head up front, 20 each on delivery. Good money. Can do a lot with that sort of money, You in?
I'm always down for the booty.
Me as well. I might go reveling myself quite soon.
Not that booty, y'all are sick! Gold, jewels, booty!
Oh, even better! I love it.
Booty.
The worst kind of dad joke. Of course, Brody. Of course, whatever. But before you do have you heard about one of the Scoven brats lost in Revelry Row?
Can't say that I have. It's been a bit of a tumble and a bustle down by the stalls, and mostly I've been around the salt pools and the canals, and things are getting a little hairier than usual down there, and I've been keeping my hand in, so I haven't made my way too much to Revelry Row of late.
If you hear anything, please pass it along.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know how it is. Scoven brat, if something bad happens, would anyone cry? Even the Scovens? Especially the Scovens? Come on now.
That does seem quite the type.
And if you need lending, I mean, who's going to do better with rates? Me or the Scovens? And come on now. Come on.
I feel less like the Scovens will end up robbing you than you, but you're much more charming.
Oh, do you mean this? And he has his little pouch of coins that he hands over. I think I need my hands for that. No, me, I don't. I'm wounded. I wouldn't get you on the hug. Come on now. Anyway, to the job details. All that sort of thing. Well, guy doesn't want to drop too much information. Terrafleas is his name. You'll know how to spot him. He stands out in the polls.
Well, how do you spell that?
Tera.
Okay.
Phles. He's got the look, you know? Never dealt with us unsavories before. His lips are tight, brows sweaty, only talking to those hires for the job details. He's down in the Planky Pint Inn in the Salt Poles. Strange spot to meet a guy like that, but he insisted. Anyway,
Planky Plankin.
Planky Pint.
Planky Pint, okay.
Planky plank.
I don't know.
It's really, they went all in on the planks.
Nicholas ran out of inspiration. This is planky plank everything.
Planky plank
Salt
in.
planks.
Well, in any case, I'll be around. Ask if you need me. I might answer. I might not. But in any case, I'm sure we'll be able to find something, and I'm not asking you for a cut on this one. I'm just hoping that with this whole new program going on, that we can build a nice, solidified relationship. Any more jobs that I send your way, maybe get a little tip, little commission. I think it's only fair.
We'll
But for
think
this
about
one,
it, Brody.
all yours.
We'll think about it.
You know, all yours. Hands off. You know how I am with the hands off, right? Like it's just my nature.
It's just,
Hands off, and it can't be traced back to you. You taught me that.
Oh, of course, absolutely. I'm glad you picked up a few lessons. In any case, cheerio, and just pops away.
Just feel a headache just coming on. But that's every time I talk to him.
Well, in any case, at the moment, I think that's where we're going to stop for break. Really fast. Come back in about 5. Do a little chance for bathroom breaks and food refreshments, all that sort of thing. So don't go away, folks, or come back in 5. We'll be right back. So thank you.
I'm sure I'm not.
Okay, welcome back to the Lumoria campaign, Dragon Poet Society. We are just picking up back from the party having knitted together in the face of larger parties, and picking up the Lorebright Stone from the new Lorebright Program at Whitewater Square at the center of Solni. They've just been presented with several opportunities to make contact with individuals they know, offered a job, and also offered a possible opportunity to find a missing person for a reward with a noble family. So, the team has a few options and opportunities to pursue, as they were told to meet their client, as presented by Brody Brighteye, at the Planky Pint Inn down in the the Salt Pole Canals, or to go investigate whatever happened to Hector Scovin somewhere on Revelry Row. So, with that, heading out from Whitewater Square, what is everyone doing?
Well, seems like we have some options. We could do multiple things. We could do what Aurelia did and what Brody did, and you had a small child that cost you.
Yeah, Slate's like gonna break off. Like, he's just gonna leave and go to Cassiel.
Does
He's not like a part of this yet in his mind, so he's just out.
does he normally do this?
Sometimes he wanders off, but he comes
Should-
back usually.
Should we? We should maybe follow him since we literally just.
Which direction is he headed?
He's headed southerly.
Okay.
So he's winging away down south through. I'm gonna say you guys came out the westernmost of the bridges from Whitewater Square, and are traveling south through sort of Tradestows Ward and the main market square, moving around, and you're seeing lots of vendors and people, hawking fruit and different things. Sweet melons, 5 copper, that kind of thing. As you're moving along, but Slate seems to be moving. Well, how does he seem to be moving? With purpose, slowly, lazily,
With purpose.
with purpose,
His
striding,
strides
tall, standing out amongst the crowd.
And it's very much a ship going through the waves kind of a thing.
People part for Goliath, for sure. And he's able to make a good pace at 8 feet tall. His strides are worth at least 2 of yours, each of you. So, you guys keeping up?
Yeah. Do we? I could also send Mr. Mittens to him, so just in case he takes another turn, since we're a little bit slower moving, I think.
You could keep pace, you just have to make an effort, keep up with him.
Oh, I hate making an effort.
Sorry, you're gonna have to run, yo.
Fine, I'm not doing this while carrying a sheep. And she snaps and Mr. Mittens disappears.
Oh! Where did it go?
Everywhere. Nowhere.
At the
That's deep, man.
the idea.
Did you meet Davy Jones? No. You're still here.
Who's Davy Jones?
Don't worry about him.
Is he
I'll
like
tell
a
ya.
contact of yours, like Brody?
It's fine. Brody's cool.
So, shall we go after the tall man?
Yes.
He is making way. We're gonna have to run faster, y'all.
Yeah.
What do you call it when you're... We could go into his slipstream, and we could get... and maybe go through the crowds a bit faster if we hurry up. And Renostos will start going that direction.
I'm gonna follow Grandpa.
Flo's right behind.
Oh, Grandpa.
Is it called the slipstream? I don't remember what it's called.
I know.
Okay.
For the wake. So, you guys are heading along and making a good, decent kind of pace in the wake of Slate and his single-minded determination that seems to be keeping him going. You guys are passing through quite a few different locations in the Tradestow Ward, and a few of you are kind of making, maybe might already be planning how you might want to spend your reward money. Once, as you're passing different shops for clothing or armor or magical knickknacks, fruit, food, water, plants, plant food, animals, all of it.
Animals.
You kind of see a wide variety, and they say that you can find anything to buy here in Solni, if you know where to look.
That's quite. As they're going along, assuming Anitka, she'll pull out a bit of yarn and sort of start knitting it with her fingers and point it towards Slate, and she'll cast message and be like, For the love of the gods, can you please slow down? I'm wearing all wool.
Slate will slow down, look around, and then turn around.
Thank you.
And you see the huffing and puffing party trying to keep up with you.
Feels like, hi, Slate.
Right, just
I can't. We're waiting on the accent. What are you guys doing following me?
Caspas, we literally just agreed to be an adventuring team. We thought, I don't know, maybe you wanted us along?
I mean, I didn't think we were adventuring just yet. It sounded like we all had our own avenues to follow. I certainly have mine.
Well, we're following your avenue.
Slate, you know I'm gonna need you when I go shopping, right?
who will help her with the difficult choices? Not me. I'm also indecisive.
No, I'm thinking of all the bags. I can't carry these all by
Who
myself.
will help with the shopping
You're my
bags?
bestie.
Slate will just
Shopping with my bestie.
just turn to like look toward you. He won't open his eyes, but he's turned towards you.
Those of you who are familiar with the salt poles and living maybe more of a street life in the dirtiest part of the city would know that the Planky Pint Inn is not far from Cassiel's care tent, where folk get tended by the men. You would know that they're quite close.
Why doesn't our big friend go off and talk to his whoever, and I'll go see what Brody's lead is all about.
Do you need me, bestie?
Slate will again just look at you without actually looking, and say, "No, you should be fine."
You sure?
It'll just walk.
It could be a party.
Party.
Well, are you all local?
That's
Local.
a complicated question.
Well, I don't want to offend you if you are. But
It's a shithole.
Yes, watch your pockets in the shithole.
Trust.
Got a
Yes.
new word.
Watch for small children. Often small children have been trained to come up and pickpocket you. Trust me on that one.
They're very hungry. I can't blame them.
Yes.
We have to do what we can to solve the problem and not be upset about the symptoms.
That is quite wise. I should come across more adults like you.
So are we going to this planky plank?
The planking pint, darling.
Before your eyes, Tanyl's appearance changes into something that looks... Because you may have noticed before that he, despite his dead animal armor, he was meticulously clean. Like, you have never seen a cleaner elf in your whole life. And just head to toe, he now looks human, and is wearing rags, and he is filthy and disgusting looking, and... Let's go.
Oh, that's actually, that's quite a good idea. I think I might stand out as well. And show motion, and sort of, looks like a knitted tube just sort of goes around her.
Oh my gosh, a cocoon.
And then it looks like a pair of scissors comes up and cuts it in half. And she's, probably a dirty human woman, little taller than she actually is. Say blonde hair, but like really ratted and everywhere. Yes, I think that was quite a good idea.
I didn't
Brody.
know we were doing this, and I will also use disguise self, and it says that I can be shorter, up to 3 feet shorter. So I'll look almost as if I was related to Tanyel's character.
Okay. The human side of things that he changed into.
Yeah, but I kind of have my same features and just human ears and dirty and...
Yeah, I'll also just be dirty.
Perhaps cloaks for the two of them, unless they can also... Hi.
You want to cover up this?
She's fine.
I'm not saying she's not pretty. I'm saying...
You don't like my style?
I like your style.
That hurts, man.
I think it could get you robbed.
Oh, nobody can rub this one.
Doubt.
Well...
Insight.
I only have a short time in this form. Let's go. Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess I probably know where this inn is.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right,
It's a long journey. It would take quite a few hours to move from the Whitewater Square all the way to. But I'll say you guys have cast your disguise selves much closer to your intended destination. And you're moving. 1 second.
Yeah.
We're moving to the southeastern section, and as you do, buildings get a little less nice, a little more run down with each step, and you see the long street that is Revelry Row, which kind of parts the saltwater canals and the rest of the city. It runs kind of parallel to a lot of the other main streets and flows, kind of, but perpendicular, feeding into the main streets that lead towards Main Market Square. You see that this is, as ever, a very prolific business place, with all the various revel dens stationed along the way. Many of them appear to be alehouses of a kind, those kind of things, but they all have some kind of, usually black and white mask nailed above the door. And you see many masked individuals, sort of enticing individuals to come in. You also see many masked individuals walking the streets, and many drunks wavering in a large way. Even from this distance, you're getting the smell of garbage and salt coming from the canals. And those of you who are familiar know that it is made of wood. It is a plank extension from the city to help manage the overpopulation. So you hit something?
I was just gonna say, I wasn't changing my appearance. So I figured I would kind of fit in already, considering I literally live in this location. So I kind of assume.
Yeah, I would say you
As
know
much as
how
I
to
can
handle
do,
yourself
yeah.
reasonably.
Yeah.
You don't blend in, but you know how to handle yourself reasonably and either look dangerous or not like a good mark.
Fair enough.
As you're heading now, you come first to that smell, the briny, rotten wave that is the salt pools. The bad side of the sea with garbage and decay, all mixed together. Next, there is the discordant noise that comes, the padding pole rats and the thumping feet on wood. The pole rats being the ferrymen who navigate the disgustingly colored waters that are between the bridgy islands. The sight of it is something to behold, but you're also getting the occasional cry, cough, or loud proclamation of some sort coming from the various occupants of this section of the city. Extending far into the water, a set of rickety dock woods that zigzag and stack on stilts, camp tent towns and filthy little shacks leaning against each other that are houses here, even with the occasional wealthy singular hut. Grifters and corner squatters are everywhere, along with the hustle of street urchins and ravers receiving no kind of attention. The canals are just that, a series of watery canals with islands and massive raft wood, and separating them from the major part of the city, the stone, the cobblestones, the grasses. The water between the planks and the stilt-raised huts barely earns the name. It is murky and brown. It is awash with floating fish carcasses and trash of every description. They are parted by the pole rats, those who are rafting and traveling in rather than the normal caravans that many of the rest of the city favor. They're silent pilots, faring folk from one planky section to the next. There are many nets, makeshift or otherwise, fish traps, strung poles that are dangling over the sides of the docks of the slimy waters. Occasionally you might see them retrieving a twin-headed fish or some kind of seven-clawed weird mutant crab thing. To excited proclamations. I'm just going to come around and show on the map, and here I'll show you, Sarah, and then you can go ahead and point it out. But this building here that stands out, that one is the Planky Pint. So those of you who have been there before would know it. And as Slate is making his way, it seems that while Slate doesn't really know, he certainly knows where he's going. It seems like he's been here before. You know that you'll likely have to conscript the aid of a pole rat unless you're willing to make a very fragrant swim.
Presumably he would have...
Cassiel's tent is on the opposite side of the canal from that building.
I would assume he would have been taking the rafts across.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so are you waiting for the others to join you on the raft?
I think they're going elsewhere.
I was going to go talk to, what was his name? It's in my notes.
Terracles?
Terracles.
Please.
While our big friend goes and talks to his friend.
Okay. Well, you're both headed in the same direction.
Mm-hmm.
Did you want to pair up on the thing, save some money?
Yes.
Okay. It's 3 copper for the pole, for the raft, the rat raft. And the individual has a big, broad, woven hat, and is just pulling along really weathered, sun-weathered skin, that kind of really wrinkled brown. Can't really guess an age.
3 gold ahead.
3 copper.
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, 3 copper ahead.
I'll toss him a silver and just be done with it.
He takes it and kind of looks at you, nods and touches the brim of his hat, and he begins. And just
Gross.
the squelchy paddle that is coming along the canals, and you see, many individuals giving you lingering stares, particularly those of you who stand out a little bit more. Goliath.
Yeah, there's no
Well.
hiding this.
In your more fine-looking attire, and the pole rat kind of looks at you and spreads his hands.
To me?
Mhm.
Do I get the...
You know that they're silent, and you know also that they are like a taxi to require a destination.
That's what I was going to ask.
Giving
Does
an
he want money, or does he want a location?
expectant look.
I would tell him whatever is the closest dock to Caskill's tent.
He nods. And he kind of looks. Sorry, one sec. He looks at you and kind of and then he does this and points.
No, the rest of us to the planky pint.
Did you turn into? Is your character? What is your disguise self?
I'm just a dirty human.
Okay.
All right. So after a long
Dirty humans.
and rather fun-sounding voyage, you come to a series in a stop up on the one side of the canals that has stairs leading up and descending into the rotten deluge below. And he parks the ferry there and gestures to Slate and gestures upward and up the zigzaggedy stairs, and on stilts you see a raised wooden platform above what looks like another platform down below that has all sorts of interesting looking characters. But up above, and they all look sort of desperate and hungry down below, but up above you see something that is a familiar sight to you, which is a very large tent, and then adjacent 2 standing sticks holding up a tarp. The tent is very large, but not very tall. You would certainly have to soup, and you know that its occupant does as well. And as per usual, you can see even on the areas exposed to the open air, covered by just that mere shade cloth tarp, you see there are these individuals, as per usual, on cots, straw, blankets, whatever they can find, individuals in need of tending. But as per usual, inside the tent is of more immediate attention.
So I would head up from the docks and head to Caskill.
Okay. And then the other, the pilot, he kind of knocks 3 times on the wood, and then pushes off and waits for another ferry to pass. And it seems like there's a hooded individual of half-orc build, surrounded by a bunch of children, and just pushing off, and all the children kind of looking off, and just pushing off, and then waits for them to pass, and your ferry goes across to the other side, and that brings you to the stilted inn that has a wide gangplank that leads up slanted to its entrance. It has a square cross of wooden planks nailed to the door that serves as a kind of sign. Inside, well, we'll get to inside in just a second. I'm going to start with Slate over with Cassio. Right. So as ever, you come to this large shade cloth tent. The shade cloth being the material they use to help create a facsimile of darkness so that they can sleep more easily. Keeps off some of the heat of the direct sun as well. And it's expensive-ish to have a big tent, especially for this region, to have a big tent of it. But it looks very patchy, got holes in it and stuff like that, so obviously not ideal. It's about 5.5 feet tall, so you've really got to stoop to get in there.
Yep.
And entering in, you see what you always do. A narrow, easily maneuverable walkway that leads to a small table with what looks like a small shrine on it and full of drawers. And then the rest is covered in interspersed and interspaced cots of individuals being treated of some kind, lying flat on their backs. Many of them are bandaged, many of them have strange rashes, many of them are oozing something out of their eyes, all sorts. And as ever, you see the ragged priest that is Cassiel in his dirtied robe with the sun embroidered on it over his breast. Moving along, moving about, half-elven. His hands are really worn down and look arthritic. And his eyes are very ancient looking, much older than his years. And he says, I was hoping that Leofon would find you. Trust you're well, Slate? And he says this without turning around. He's clearly tending to someone and kneeling by them, bandaging up some wounds.
Yeah, speaking of kneeling, Slate's probably just sitting on his knees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cassiel, doing well. What do you need?
Pass me that, will you?
I'll do it, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a splint, and he's splinting. It seems that there has been quite a bit of a turn recently. And I was wondering if you might be able to have a look out for it for me. Something of a church-sensitive nature. You'd helped me before, and I was hoping maybe you'd be able to do so again. Good man.
I'll do my best. What were you looking for?
Been hearing rumors about it from some of the folk coming here. Not totally sure, but recently there's been a break-in at the House of the Dawn. Pretty serious, big church, all that. Some important scrolls of restoration were stolen. Word is around here that they're in the salt poles. I worry that perhaps the church might make a rather blunt approach to their recovery when sensitive hands are instead needed. If you were able to retrieve it, you might be able to limit some of the problems. You know the rules here, and I treat everyone who comes by, but not all the gangs and other folk here are as welcoming, and I'm not sure that they would take too kindly to a church investigating in their territory, as it were.
Okay. Do you have anywhere you'd recommend I could find more information?
All the usual places to ask around. Folk talk when they drink. That is usually my best guess. If you were able to retrieve it, I would greatly appreciate it. If you're going out and about, I also need some more shade cloth to repair the tent, as ever. I can't pay for it. I mean, I can pay for it, but I just can't spend the time being away. You see how it is. And he kind of looks at gestures to all the wounded that he's tending, and he mutters another prayer, and looks like a little flash of golden light knits a wound, kind of, from the patient. I don't have a lot to offer in reward, but I can maybe provide some information if you need. Things going on in the polls, and sadly in the final garden, I hear a lot. And with this Lorebright stuff going around, it seems like everything's a little harsher, a little fiercer down here. Recently, a lot of movement, strange folk, that kind of thing. But I can also provide maybe some medical training. You've been here around, you helped me out here and there. Maybe we could work something out. I feel bad not being able to pay you.
I'm here to help, Cassiel. You saved me. I'll help you out how I can.
Well, there's a good lad.
So I'll take that information and I guess head out towards the Planky Pint.
Okay. It'll only cost you 1 copper to get across the way, across the water. and you're able to catch up with the rest of the team. Anything you guys want to do as you're going before you go in?
How long has it been? Would our disguises still be up, or are we?
The journey would have eaten away your disguise.
Okay.
In terms of length of time.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just make sure my coins are still on me, and kind of put on my mean face and make sure my rapier is prominent and looks, look like I'm not ready to be messed around with.
Yeah, those of you who are familiar with this region are used to seeing kids, gang members, other folk, all coming in and out with a reasonably upbeat, as much as you can have, around the Plenky Pint. And of course, Cassie's Care Tent, they're sort of sanctuaries of a sort. But there are no children running around here. No street urchins, nothing to be found here. So you're kind of noticing that's a little unusual.
Okay. That's strange.
Has it changed much since I've last been here, or is this seems weird?
This is do I hear, like, I guess looking around, do I see anything that looks out of the ordinary aside from the kids not being around?
That's the only thing that you really immediately pick up on.
Okay.
I would say.
This is very odd. Keep your wits about you. And I guess we'll start going in. If anyone else has anything they want to do.
As usual, all her valuable stuff is completely hidden. She's always has that stuff hidden.
Okay.
For future reference.
Anitka just sort of turn, like, really to no one in particular, just be like, you know how when you, like, live in a place for a while and with the smell that you, like, get used to it and then you leave and then you come back.
You never get used to it. And
You head on in. The place is somewhat cleaner. Sorry?
You said you head on into the inn.
Oh.
I was being a jackknob.
Someone's got to fill that role.
yeah.
Inside, the place is somewhat cleaner than the rest of the salt poles, thankfully. There's still wear and tear that's evident, but it seems like it's like the floors are swabbed and swept, things like that. It's a large sort of it's a larger space than a lot of the other facilities. In fact, giant compared to many of the huts and lean-tos that usually make for homes. It has 4 irregularly paced pillars that align strategically to what seems like break up line of sight between a large round tables that seat patrons. A very large and long dining table that looks to be nailed together from loose planks sits in the middle of the room, kind of extending in a sort of haphazard fashion. And there's sort of closer to the bar on the northern wall than where you guys are at on the southern end to the entrance. Along the eastern edge, there is a cutout space that extends away from the main room and seems to be curtained by dirty hanging rags tied together in a kind of strange makeshift curtain. A set of stairs run away up the western wall and around the corner from the entrance. And all of the furniture, from crate chairs to barrel tables, seem to have been cobbled together from loose wood found here and there. All but the bar, which is a spotless, continual 15-foot stretch of dark wood. It is an impossibly wealthy thing to own in this kind of location. It's broken only by a small counter lift for the barkeeper to come in and out. Speaking of the barkeeper, seems she is a middle to late-aged halfling with sort of chestnut skin, dark hair that contrasts sharply with her brilliantly white teeth and bright green eyes. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna go up to her and ask her. We're looking for Tara, please.
Terrible fleas.
Terrible fleas. Yeah.
Are you gonna have anything first, darling?
What do you have?
Oh, you know, the usual. Bread, mystery fin stew. That's a favorite. Salt swill, of course.
I'll take some bread.
All right, 2 copper.
Okay, I'll pass it over.
As for Mr. Fleas, he stands out a bit. You'll see. He's in the private room, wanted a little bit of distance from us rats here.
Of course. Anyone else? food? Would you like some refreshments and water for your plant?
Yes, very well. Please, something good. Come
Yes, I would love some water and some bread, please.
on. I would love some water too. Good luck finding some clean one here. I can mix it with some wine, but I'm not sure that would do for your plant, eh?
Wine, you say? What's your strongest you got?
Well, when I say wine, what I really mean is salt swill. You know, good salty ale.
Huh.
Sure, a sea lass such as yourself would love it.
A lot of my ale is salty, yeah. Sure, bring it over.
All right, 3 copper.
Let's go stew.
All right, 3 copper.
I'll take some salt swill and some bread.
That'll be 5 copper for you. And for the big man coming in, come on, don't be shy.
Did I have it arrive?
Yeah.
There? Oh, God. Slate will just look at her, and shake his head, and then head over to the group.
All right. So you all get served your various things. The bread is hard and several days old, stale, but otherwise still bread. The stew is kind of a milky white color mixed with lumps of mud
It's chowder.
of some kind. Very runny. The salt swill is basically like drinking salt water with a hinge of alcoholic twist at the end.
Anitka is dipping her bread in the salt swill.
It's still hard.
I'm not actually eating my bread. I know better.
It's waterproof, gluten-free bread.
Yup.
Well, if you're, is there anything else that I can interest you in? A stay? Something good? It seems like you're paying customers, which is always appreciated.
Oh, do you have anything Terrafleas likes that I could take in?
I'm not sure a man of his taste is used to tasting the kind of things that we sell around here.
Okay.
Well, just for you, lass, I'll give you a shot of squirrel drag. Bit of my own whiskey brew. And she kind of goes behind, and you hear just like a... And... on the house.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, my lass.
Yeah, my pleasure. Right, off you go. Or come back. Business is booming, as you can tell. And she says it rather sadly as she gestures to the room, and you see just like a motley mix of very few natives to this area.
I'm gonna toss her another 2 coppers as a tip.
Oh, I love the generous visitors. So nice of you, I think I've seen you around before.
It's been a few years.
Yeah, well, welcome back. It never truly leaves you, does it? She whisks the coins off the bar.
It never does.
Never truly leaves.
You can see Slate, since you're standing so tall over it. She's got like a series of steps that let her lead up to like a normal-sized bar. And it looks like there's a back door, where she popped back behind to retrieve the squirrel drag shot. Yeah. What else are you guys doing?
I was going to say it like in perfect mimic to Brody's voice. Terrafleas.
Yes, the man himself. It's a wonder he hasn't lost all of his coin already, if you know what I mean. And she gestures to the private room with that sort of rag curtain.
I'll walk over to it and kind of pull the curtain aside and walk in.
Okay.
I'll follow him behind.
Perhaps not all of us should go in there. Maybe I'll keep a seat warm for us out here. And Renostos will go sit at a stool.
Yeah, there are barrel stools, there are crate stools, there's a bench.
He's gonna sit on a tiny little barrel.
Okay. It's a bit like, tucking your knees up and sitting in one of those colorful plastic chairs.
He'll put his plant down and just hold the plant in his lap.
You see one of the rougher looking characters kind of looks over. He's like, nice plant. And his buddies are like, J-Man, what? I like plants. You don't see a lot of them here.
I'm gonna kind of nudge it, Anitka. How do I pronounce it?
Anitka.
Anitka. Keep Grandpa company.
Oh, yeah, I think... Yeah, I don't know if he knows how to keep an eye on his coin purse. So she'll go sit on a barrel, much more proportionally sized for her. So, can you tell me about your plant?
I would love to. Well, you see, this plant, it produces a very, very useful fruit. but only if I take good care of it for a very long time. One misstep, and there will be no berry produced.
As you're continuing the explanation of what it is to care for plants, which I have never been able to produce any.
Same.
My blueberry bush produced 4 blueberries.
Those of you who went into the private room, so that was Cackler. Anyone else?
Tanyl and Flo.
I think Slate would have stayed out.
Okay. So the three of you head in, and you see a well-dressed human man in a sort of creamy yellow, almost robe toga combination, which is pretty common in the higher-ish middle-class fashion. In his mid-40s, clean clothes, which is unusual here. He's got a beard that doesn't quite hide his weak chin, so wears a half-shoulder cloak of pale yellow that goes over one side. He's got brown eye, brown hair, sort of tan of skin, and he says, yes, come on, yes, sit down. Discreet assistance, you must speak, I presume. Brody spoke highly of some of you, so if he failed to mention how you might stand out.
Is that a problem?
Well, it seems at least there's a good mix of skill sets here. In any case, you can tell already he's like really nervous, really just wants to get this all along.
Hey, you want some squirrel drag? And I'll like pop it up in front of him.
I'm all right, thank you. I don't partake at this establishment.
I'll swipe and just
This
drop
is like
just
their
drop
best of the best, man.
Yeah, it's a cheap but pleasant whiskey.
it. I still reply, cheap but pleasant.
At any rate, I have a rather pressing problem, and I'm willing to pay handsomely on the resolution. Simple as that. We don't need to get too comfortable, too friendly, of course. 2 gold each up front, 20 each per head on completion. Is it just the 3 of you?
We have additional associates.
Well, how many? I need to know how much to pay.
Well, what are you asking of us?
Well, let's hear the remaining others. Are they able to come visit as well?
They would rather stay outside. There are 3 additional members of our party.
Okay, well, fair enough. That will do well enough. Let's not worry too much about names. I understood you have my first name, but the rest doesn't need to matter. In any case, I am overseer to a light farm in the northeastern section of the city. Lumens, very important, in case you didn't know. I understand things are different here.
Oh,
Not
yes.
the most sensitive individual, obviously. In any case, and he kind of puffs up a little bit, with the coming change of the shard over the next dozen turnings, it is very important for us to deliver, and I'm under rather serious pressure to meet our quota. You understand? Key to the city's success. Some criminal enterprise did visit upon my assigned station and absconded with a trio of lumens. A truly desperate and despicable act. And all of you know that this is like a serious crime. Normally, I would simply report such an invasion, but I'd rather this be handled discreetly, if possible, by your hands, and I will make you rich. But please know, I am happy to go to the authorities if things devolve. Depending on the haste of your success, I may be able to offer you further reward. And he leans forward. They are here, the lumens. I procured some information regarding unusual sightings and activities, including the robed woman who spearheaded the theft. She was seen visiting this establishment this morning. I have it on good authority that this is a headquarters for the Patch Poles gang, a rather well-known group of recent strength and activity. I have handled the search part. Now it is your turn to do the recovery. I believe the bar lady might be a good place to start. Seems the criminal peddlers have some sort of arrangement here. Do take care, though. I take it that they are rather well liked among the Dross.
Do you have any more other than robes? And a lady?
Well, I know that, as I just said, they have their headquarters here. The bar lady is a good place to start. You know what you're looking for, and you know that it is likely that the Patch Poles were the ones who stole it, or at least arranged it. I don't see any more information you need. If I'm offering 2 gold up front, it seems more than generous.
It is very generous. Okay.
Is he anyone I recognize?
He doesn't seem... He seems like he wants to be recognized, but isn't.
Okay.
Just like Brandon.
Well, if you're accepting the job, I believe that'll be 12 gold then, yes? All total?
Yes.
Are we accepting?
God, it's gonna get hard.
Yes, well, I will await your success with bated breath. And of course, please, make haste. And he flicks a platinum onto the table and 2 gold and pushes it over. Which, flashing platinum in this is like beyond stupid. Those of you who have been here before would know that, not the good.
Can I slide the platinum back and like write a note and just hold out and say 10 gold pieces?
Oh, well, I guess it's easier to disseminate with change. He slides the... 10
Also
gold.
less stupid.
Yes, well, I'm sure with your local expertise in this area, you'll be able to... This is why I wanted to hire locals. You understand?
I'm gonna have my notepad out. I'm just gonna write down where should we meet you to return the lumens.
I will remain here until you are able to... I've arranged and paid handsomely for this private room until your success.
I'm just gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk back to the rest of the group.
Okay?
And you water them. I know you had to water them like 3 or 4 times when we were in that line. Do you have to fertilize that as well?
Well, I might be a very over-the-top plant granddaddy, you might say. Really, it doesn't need that much. I just really hope it will produce a fruit.
And as you're saying that, you actually notice that today is the day,
Oh!
and a bright,
Look!
lovely fruit seems to be budding before your eyes.
Oh! My baby!
Seems that your care has paid off.
Wow, did you... Wow. I'm gonna take, I'll dig through my bag for a little bit and take out, just the tiniest, cutest little pair of scissors and just a little bag perfectly sized for the fruit and just sit there and, just a little tiny snip. And I'll collect it in the bag.
Yep, go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, please.
1.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if it was a dex check, I mean...
Get the fruit nasty.
Oh, no.
Juice everywhere.
Kills plant.
This seems to be a tender berry. Normally they're a little bit hardier than this, but nevertheless, you got to witness this.
I did get to witness this.
So while they're doing this plant birthing,
Fleur, thank you.
we'll see. I would like to have asked the barkeep about...
Ah, yes, Stilts, come on over.
Dang.
I will tromp on over. Did we ever get her name?
We did not.
I was gonna say, I don't think we did.
You're not very polite folk. I'm Gretchen, as it were.
I'll nod from way up there. I'm here to help Cassiel. Have you heard anything about the recent break-in at the Church of the Dawn? The House of the Dawn?
Well, that's a long way off from our little neck of the woods, and I'm not much for the gods myself. Old Cass is across the way, but and he sends a few folk, for a pick-me-up every now and then. So he's a good man.
I'll reach into my pouch and put like a silver on the...
Okay. And she's like, well, I've always liked Cass. He's got more kindness than all the rest of the church put together, it feels like. Heard he's been hoping to find some scrolls. At least he's been asking. He's no great warrior, that's for sure. I'm not much for the gods himself. Seems like they could be doing a fair shake more to help the folks in places like this, where soul don't shine, I've always preferred stories of the dancer, but that's another deal. I don't know too much that I can say, other than, folk talk that come to and fro. I try to keep my hands clean, but if you're paying and talking to on behalf of Cass, I have to say, a little worried. Some of the folk who traipse through here are coming with a little bit more arm, and there's been a few different folk as well. A few darker-skinned elves, and wearing steely masks of a kind. There's also some sort of rather intensely striking woman, tiefling, I believe. Look like she might have some claw marks across her face, scars, something fearsome. Never seen him before, and I was told to ask no questions. Might be nothing, might be something. Like I said, you get it. Patches has been good to me from the start, so I don't want to cause too much trouble, but I appreciate you looking out for Cass. Not everyone does, and we could use a man of your skill and strength down here.
Since we're inside, I guess Slate's eyes will actually be open, so just closed. He'll look down at Gretchen for like an awkward 5 seconds. Then he'll nod and head back to the table.
How far away is the table from the bar?
Which table?
The table
that you were sitting at?
Yeah.
You sat at one pretty close to the bar, I would say. But so there's that long, kind of rickety mishmash, big long like dining hall kind of table, and then there's a few like round tables, and you're near one of the round tables that's got its pillar that separates it from another round table, and it's the one closest to the bar.
Okay. Did I hear you say something's wrong with Cassiel?
There's... Something's been stolen from one of the churches, and those items have been found, or believed to be, in the salt vault?
The salt poles is the area that you're in now, if that's what you're asking about, yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Salt pole canals is the name of the ward that you're in.
Cassiel is worried that the church will be a bit heavy-handed in their retrieval.
He's probably right.
He is. So he's looking to get them, or retrieve them himself, get them to the church, so the church doesn't come down like a hammer on the salt poles.
I see.
That sounds like quite a good idea. Could perhaps ask Brody. I mean, the man certainly has connections.
That was the short red fellow?
Yes,
yeah, the gnome.
The short,
Flashy
red one.
little man.
Oh yes. If you're ever near him, check your pockets. But, you know, I think he's good at heart. Really.
I like his little
Inside
handhold thing. That's nice. He always gets to hold a hand wherever he's going.
So, those of you who were there to get the job information have returned to the main tap room area and are seeing them reconvene. So, you, with your new wealth, what are you doing?
How was the terrible flea man?
Terrible.
Did he have fleas?
No, but
Well,
he
it's not
had
going to fit in around here.
He had stupidity in spades. Apparently, somebody stole from a light farm.
Oh.
Which I guess you guys should, like...
Most of you would know that that's grounds for treason and execution.
That is...
Slate probably wouldn't know that.
Quite desperate.
Oof, that'll get you.
My question, of course, is... that was a weird accent. I wonder why he is so eager to not involve the authorities.
Oh, maybe his hands are in a bit too many pies. Maybe
Not that I care what happens to somebody like that, but...
I'd be more worried about the thief, I'll be honest.
I mean, maybe they were under his control and he doesn't want to get his butt whipped.
Well, from my understanding, these light farms need to run a really tight ship. Maybe he just doesn't want the attention on him if he's not up to snuff.
Yes, maybe. I wonder how he treats his workers. Attenborough.
Well, I'm very sorry that you had a boring meeting with him because you missed a berry birth.
I'm just gonna very, sneakily slide the gold pieces to the other three. So...
Take a sleight of hand check.
Ooh, okay.
I was not going to do that until later.
I'm a thief, but I'm an honest thief.
Oh, I was going to get
Oh!
Is that bad?
It's a 6.
That's bad.
Okay, so sharing the coins, and as you're doing it, it kind of fumbles, and one and immediately you see one of the you see all the other guys just like hone in on it like a hawk. One of the guys immediately stands up from his chair, sliding back on the wood.
To pull out my blade a little bit. No need. Go retrieve it.
And you see Gretchen from behind the bar, and she calls out. She's like, "You all know the rules. None of that here. Come on now. Yes, they're not. Look, they're not ideal with their flashy, but just put them all away, settle all down, have a drink. I'll refill for all of you. Little bit of refill for all of you. Sounds great."
Can I try and intimidate the guy who stood up? I'm just gonna stare at him.
Dead stare. Yeah, go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Spooky eyes. Let's do it. My intimidation is bad.
Bro, how? You're Goliath.
It's based on charisma.
Ah.
You can also use your strength for intimidation instead.
That would
be
better.
much better. So that's 22 then.
22. This guy's a weedy little reed. He's got 2 curved knives at his hips, and he's looking at you, and he's just sort of like, all right, yeah, it's good, it's cool. I'll take the drink, no worries. I like salt water, it's all good.
Anitka will go up to the bar and push 5 copper towards her. Thank you.
My pleasure. Be a little carefuler, but thank you. Always smooth things over. Right then, well, is there anything else I can do for you, or you looking for a stay, or what you got?
Well, have you seen anyone suspicious looking walking in through here with some?
I've seen you lot looking suspicious, that's for sure, and everyone's suspicious around here. It's part of the charm.
Right.
Don't have to be more specific. I mean, people wear robes all the time.
Anyone you've seen recently that's new in town?
Today.
Well, people come, people go, that sort of thing. Maybe you.
I'll slide 2 copper toward her.
Oh, well, that's nice. Yes, I suppose there's been a few here and there. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Seducer.
You're not allowed to play a part.
I'll allow you to make one as well,
Sick.
since you slid the coins.
I sure did. Oof. Persuasion, you say?
Yep.
Persuasion, what do you say?
I'm gonna say she's probably not persuaded.
What's the total?
10.
10. Okay. Well, people come, people go, that sort of thing. But you're gonna have to do better than that. And frankly, I don't like to cause trouble, so it's got to cost. It's costs, And
Slide 3
people
more.
here have been good for me.
I'll slide 3 more.
Copper.
Bruh, alright. I'll take the copper back and slide a silver.
Now we're talking. I'll let you go ahead and make another
Roll well.
persuasion check.
Bruh.
That doesn't sound well.
It's not better.
What'd you get?
7.
7. Yes, austere looking lass. Big robe, that sort of thing. I was told to ask no questions, and I didn't. I trust Patches. We'll see how it goes. Make a
Sorry.
insight check, anyone who's at the bar. So, at least you two. Possibly you?
Yeah.
Well,
all
there
of
I
them.
get. Okay.
Or I just slid 5 copper towards her, so probably.
Ooh.
I don't feel any insight.
Okay.
19.
25.
Wow.
Got a 20.
I also
Nice.
got a nat 20.
Burn.
Ooh.
Total up? Hey, we're doing nat 20s early in the campaign. Very nice.
22.
22. All right. You definitely get the sense that she's got a nervousness about her about these new visitors. And she's got a lot of loyalty, it seems like, and is reluctant to talk about what might be going on, but she's definitely nervous. And seems like is worried about how things might turn out.
How much would rooms for all of us be?
It's a silver and a half each.
Each.
Well, per room, if you want to squeeze.
I will give her 5 silver.
Oh.
Keep the rooms.
Ah. I see.
We're only trying to keep undue attention out of the polls.
undue attention.
If what our flashy friend says is true, it may be in for a world of hurt.
I see. Care to elaborate? Of a sort?
Treason?
Oh, very might. Go ahead and make a persuasion check with advantage.
Advantage. We like that.
That's good. Yes.
Do we like that?
That's a 9.
Woof.
Negative
We are not
persuasion.
persuasion
I don't know anything
Well,
about
we'll
this
never be.
sort. Patches has been kind to everyone here. All right, as the leader of the Patch Poles, he's done so much, and he's helped me run this place, turn it around, and yeah, there's been some shady characters coming in. Not gonna lie. But I try not to get involved. And wouldn't be the first time some brute force has come through. He's a good man.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna head back to the table and
Okay. Those of you who were
Gnaw
at
on
the
my
bar
bread.
at least heard there. Or at least heard what was said.
and she'll head back too.
Listen, we don't want any trouble. We don't want any trouble with you or any of your friends or with Mr. Patches or any of these people, but there is some bad things going on, and we would like to make this place a safer place.
Okay, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
She's ready to be persuaded. We just can't do it.
Yeah, I'll be bad at it.
Dang, 13.
Gosh.
This is
Okay,
probably the
13.
best one tonight.
Yeah. She says, well, if you can help him, you'd be helping us all. I'll let you around, if you understand. She kind of jerks her head back to the door behind her. Best take care. He's a good man. But even a good dog will bite if it's been kicked enough or cornered. And try not to be too hard on him, if you can. I'd hate to break my frying pan over all your heads.
Oh, no. You have very nice frying pans. Let's keep those nice.
Yeah, well, you know, we try. In any case, get. And she kind of lifts her thing, her little lift counter.
Okay.
Is she just letting flow back?
She's like, all right, come on.
Okay, off we go.
I guess.
Oh.
And you see the people at the table kind of look, and one of them sort of pulls a knife and like sticks it into the table. And she says something like, I know, but they're cool. Helping. Just trust me on this one. But you guys head on back behind, and we'll go ahead and switch to that section here. Alrighty. So,
Criminals.
behind the bar, you come to a basic-looking kitchen and storeroom. It seems rather remarkable that Gretchen is able to do all of this herself, keeping a clean inn in this area. The kitchen is stocked with a dwindling supply of basic food. A bubbling brown stew of indeterminate origin sits upon an active stove. And 2 barrels and a shelf full of dusty bottles face each other, right opposite to the left side across from the entryway door. A 3rd barrel stands in the northeastern corner of the room. It is labeled as Snail Slime Special.
Don't knock the snail slime. It's surprisingly good.
I'll take your word for it. Textures. They're not my thing.
What's everyone doing?
I guess I'm gonna look around the room.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Okay.
Anybody else? Doing anything else?
I will also take a peek in our new
Surroundings?
yeah.
Sure. Investigation. What do you get?
13.
Okay.
Not good. Is that
18.
Bad?
Okay, so you both notice that there's a bit of disturbance in the dust that has seemed to collect in some corners around that corner barrel labeled Snail Slime Special. And as you investigate a little further, you notice that the you tap the barrel and it's very hollow sounding, kind of strange.
You lift the top, and it's empty, and at the bottom there is a handle.
There's a handle. Shall we pull it?
I think that would be quite right. The rest of everything's just a kitchen.
So plant in one arm and pulls the handle.
Okay. And it hinges out like a trapdoor in the floor. The secret door, leading with stairs down.
Stairs. Surprise ones.
They are wide enough for one person at a time.
Cramped stairs.
Is it light? Is it light? Is it lit or is it dark down there?
It seems like there's some light coming up.
Okay.
But it's not like, the eye-searing pain that it would have been for you outside before. Looks like it's firelight of some kind.
Okay.
Lantern light, maybe.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go after.
Alrighty. Well, descending the stairs, let's get the rest of the marching order. So we got Tanyl and the Cackler, followed by
Slate.
Flo.
Grandpa's in the back.
Yeah. Fine, I'll go in front of you.
All right, Anitka, and then Renostos, bringing up the rear. Descending the stairs, you come to a rather basic-looking wooden room, lit by a pair of hanging lanterns. A table, like the ones from the tap room, sits along one wall, occupied by a trio of individuals, with a wooden door just far beyond them. 3 large crates are stacked against the southern wall, opposite the stairway you arrived from. At the table, it appears like the trio is playing some kind of drinking card game of sorts. One of them, a muscular half-elven woman, is nearly passed out on the table. The other two immediately rise and draw their weapons at the sight of your intrusion. And you hear a sort of like a, huh? From the lady who's half passed out. They're all immediately pulled crossbow, pulled some knives, that kind of stuff. What are you doing down here?
Whoa, hey! Can I see you're playing a game. Can I join your game? I don't.
Who are you? How'd you get past?
Gretchen sent us.
Well, she's not supposed to be letting anyone that the boss doesn't approve of.
We need to have words with your boss.
She said we were cool.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
I'm writing down. She said it.
Think I look cool? Persuasion is... Ooh, that's a 6.
God.
I say as I push up my glasses.
The boss isn't having anyone down here. He told us to guard, armed, for our lives. Either drop...
Would your boss like to hear about how you were drinking on the job?
You're not gonna tell him. And he immediately pulls his crossbow and shoots at you.
I'm gonna say, in perfect mimicry with what she said earlier, you'll have to run, yo, and cast my big cannon, right in front of me.
It's a 12 to hit.
12 does not hit.
Okay, so the bolt in the wooden wall behind. But let's go ahead and roll initiative, guys.
Oh, shit.
First combat of the campaign.
Oh, I didn't give myself advantage. Dang it.
Alrighty. Let me pull out my stat blocks.
I did.
That did not roll well.
I know.
Good thing I found my cannon practice.
And we're going to go ahead and do a combat. This is probably going to be the last of the thing. They're
going to get shreked.
Team's not doing so hot on the persuasion, I have to say.
We're not a charismatic bunch.
It's like we all dumped charisma for a political intrigue campaign.
Shit.
Are we all stupid?
No, it's perfectly. It's not just political intrigue. There's more to it than that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and set up the map here. But just give me a hot second. Should be two.
While he's doing that, can we go around? Who's got charisma? I have +0.
-1.
-2.
+1.
Cat?
Oh, no, I got +1.
So we have 2 +1s, a couple of minuses, a 0.
Well, you gotta be charismatic.
I'm +2.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flo is...
+2 is our best.
There is no guard in this party.
Oh boy.
Okay, we got that. We got that.
But I'm wise.
I'm very smart.
I know I have the wisdom to know when to not be rude.
There you go. That's what's great.
That's something.
Alrighty, we're gonna get this all set up here. We got this door over here, set of crates. Careful bumping the table, please.
This is a very small room, isn't it?
Yep.
Front of your feet.
Cool.
Sure is. Okay. So we got the door there, and then I'm just missing the stairs. Do. The stairs are coming down like this, and then leading, cornering in. So we had first down the stairs. Let's see, who did we have
That
first?
was me.
Tanyl?
Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna put you a little bit farther in.
Okay.
And then next up, we had Slate in the third position. Next was the Cackler.
Cackler.
And he was gonna toss out his cannon, possibly. Slate was next.
I'll just be like wielding it like in front of you.
Okay. And then after that was Flo. I'm just gonna put you. I don't know if we're gonna all fit on the stairs here. Okay. And then we had Renostos in the rear with Anitka.
And his plant. Lost his plant.
I know. I didn't think
Did you
about.
roll initiative for your plan?
Oh, guys, we're gonna have to think of how I'm gonna keep my plant safe. I'm gonna have to get like battle gear for my plant.
Okay. First combat. I'm gonna tilt this up a little.
Armored pot.
So I can
We
make
should make a
sure.
bunch of guys.
You know, like Grogu's little.
Alrighty. What you'll notice about these guys is they also have what looks like leather armor of a sort, but that they have some kind of patch sewn into it of a different type. So I am just going to... it's a rather colorful patch. So I'm going to go ahead and do... Okay. And then we've got... this.
Just trying to track. of
Okay, and I'm going to put us
initiative.
into our new combat playlist.
Playlist.
Alright.
Let's see it, Nicholas.
Well, let's hear it. We're not gonna see ya.
Nicholas, I lied.
Do you
I
not
don't.
see
I don't
sandwich?
pull out my cannon, Nicholas. I lied. I don't have it yet.
Yeah, I was going
You
to
don't
say.
get the species.
No.
We need
He
Next-
really
next
mimes a
Next
cannon real well.
Yeah.
He mimics the sound perfectly.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and let's
Perfect.
get. I'm going to do my initiative roll. That's that. Okay, and then that's that. Okay, so that.
Well, I have my crossbow.
It's a complicated class.
It is a complicated class.
A lot of stuff to read.
There's a lot of fun stuff.
It was kind of intimidating. I'm just like,
Well,
oh
what made it
no, I'm
way-
just gonna skip all this. I
What
don't
made it
care.
way worse is when Nicholas sent me the pictures to the things, they loaded in random order. So,
Oh,
so it's like...
Alright, 25 to 20.
Nope.
20? Okay, so Slate at 20. And remember, please, everyone try and keep track. Everyone should be keeping track of initiative, and that way we're all knowing when's next to play, and also so I don't miss anything. So, Slate, right, at 20. 2015,
18 for Anitka.
Anitka, 18. Got it. 15 to 10.
Nice.
Okay. 10 to 5.
8.
8 for me as well.
8.
No, we all rolled 8.
And 8. All right, so we'll just do by order of appearance in the party then. So Tanyl will be in marching order. Tanyl will be 8A. Then we've got 8B for
Me.
Cackler. And 8C being Flo. And Renostos?
2.
Okay, someone's got to bring up the rear, and at least you're in the back, so that's true. That's good. Okay, so we've got get the people up here. One guy here. One guy here. Their crossbows, and then drunken lady, kind of tucked in the corner. By that. So, top of the round is going to be Slate. So you're coming down the stairs, you're kind of cramped in this space, you're seeing them here. On deck is going to be Anitka, but you're seeing these guys just fire a crossbow bolt, they immediately jump to violence. It seemed like your initial understanding and read on them was that they don't really know what's going on, but they were told to shoot first.
I will move up to the closest one I can.
Okay, so come in. Oh, sorry.
And take them all down.
Oh, but
5, 10,
careful.
so 10, 20, 25, 30. We'll say that's close enough, that's fine. I'm just going to set them here beside the stairs in the order that they're coming down with. Okay.
Okay, I'll draw my longsword and shield and take a swing.
Okay, go for it. Attack roll.
If for some reason they're very squishy, this is intended to be a non-lethal blow.
Okay, non-lethal. Got it.
That will be a... It's a beautiful... 19 to hit.
19 hits. Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll damage. Non-lethal, so.
What second level, dude?
Yeah, I know. That will be 9 damage.
9 points of damage. See, you draw this big sword, which looks kind of small in your hand, and you just thwap him in the ear with the flat of the blade, and he just, you know, kind of, like, this huge head, his glasses fall off.
And everything.
You know, but he does, and kind of recover a little bit, but he looks very dazed and hurt. And that's it for your turn?
I'll say stand down, stop.
Okay, make an intimidation check.
Is this going to be strength?
Yeah. That's just in general for all intimidation checks. You can decide to use strength.
That's how we're gonna have like our, that's how we're gonna do for.
And that's your next. So you ready?
That's 8.
8.
Yep.
Boss says take him down. We'll take him alive. He'll know what to do with him. Them or the night skin.
That's nice.
That's us.
All right, Anitka, you're up.
She'll sort of grab out a crochet hook and then sort of wave her hands, and as she does, sort of, if you've ever seen crocheted pants, they look bad, but that's that, and then a knit sweater will appear. She's casting mage armor very bravely. Just goes, well, that is very rude.
Okay. Are you going to move anywhere, or are you going to stay on the stairs?
I think there are enough people in front of me that I can't move.
You could probably get to just beside the Cackler.
Sure, I'll...
So you could go sharing the space with Flo, then Cackler at difficult terrain each, and then ending here. Kind of shoving by, excuse me, down the stairs. They're 5 feet wide, so most of you aren't 5 feet wide.
We're broad.
Yeah.
I mean, Slate.
Slate
So.
is.
Slate probably would be. So he just like he's just like out of the way. But yeah, you're able to get down there. All right. Next is their turn. The one nearest to Slate and the other one both pull off their patches and throw them out to the ground. I actually need to get one more model here.
No. Front row. Dragon. It's a summoned dragon.
Yeah, Summoned Dragon.
That's as good as can.
Level 2.
Yeah.
Thanks for playing.
This is actually a one-shot, by the way.
You know how all those months I spent on Lumoria? Yeah, it was a
actually
It
really...
was this room.
It was
I
just
wanted
a
to make
troll.
sure I nailed this room.
Yeah. So where the patches land, 2 ink-drawn mastiffs each appear.
Oh.
You guys are on. Oh,
What?
it's a
Monster.
Cool.
That was a good one. I thought you said 2.
2 each.
Oh.
And this guy does it right on the table, so. And they immediately start yapping and biting at you guys. So we've got those 4 that each get to go. So 2 on Slate there. That's going to be a 15 and a 7.
Neither hit.
Okay, so and you sort of your shield coming to bear, able to block the effect. One of them is going to go after Anitka, and the other is going to go after your Tanyl. So Anitka, that's a 20 to hit total,
Oof. Yeah, that hits.
and 16 to hit on Tanyl.
That is my armor class.
Okay, so both hit with their very real, even though inky, teeth sinking in. Anitka, you take 6 piercing damage, and Tanyl takes 4.
Okay.
All right,
Cool.
that's it for their turn. Now we've got the 8s. So Tanyl, then Cackler, then Flo.
Well, shit. I.
You say.
Yes. Basically, I'm going to very bravely cast Shield of Faith on myself
Okay.
at this moment, and then I am going to let me change to a new spell. I'm going to use Word of Radiance, which I think should hit both of those dudes, so they have to make a con save.
Is it around you?
It's around me, 5 feet, creatures within 5 feet that I choose within range around me.
Okay, so that's 3. 3 of the hounds.
3 of the hounds, so 3 of the
that
hounds,
way.
and they all have to make con saves.
What's the DC?
It is 13.
Okay. So 1 fail, 2 fail, 3 fail. I got a 7, a 2, and a 4, respectively for this, and this. They all fail.
You sure you weren't trying to persuade us there?
Yeah.
So they all take 4 radiant damage.
4 radiant damage. So you whisper this word of radiance, and in your case, it congeals in this sort of like silvery mist that immediately partakes in this really bright flash, and it swishes through them. But they are still around. They're just looking very, very hurt.
And anyone who is
They
close
have 5
enough,
health.
close enough
Oh,
to me to see, and I don't know if you would see, but his bandages like glow a little bit when he does that.
All right, very nice. Bandages are glowing.
Okay, Cackler, you're up with Flo on deck.
Am I within 5 feet of any of them? I can't really see.
Yes, you are within 5 feet of one of the hounds that was menacing Anitka.
I'll also use my dagger on one of them.
Okay, go ahead and make an attack roll. Dex based, and you guess in your case.
Yep. Oof. Nope. 10.
10 does not hit.
Didn't think it would.
You know, darting back and forth, hound knows its way through combat, and knife does not find purchase. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nah.
Okay. All right, Flo, you're up with Renostos to follow afterward.
I'm gonna yell, Gretchen! And then come in and I guess go for some of the dogs.
Okay, so there's nowhere left to stand,
Oh, I can't go
pretty much.
anywhere.
So you can get to the bottom of the stairs, and you can see what's going on here. Right, you're in. You can see around the corner and stuff like that. But
Okay.
all these spaces, unless you push past and try to stand on the crates or some other kind of terrain, maybe. But you got to get through all your friends and then over to that space. So it's a little cramped in this room now with 4. No one was expecting the 4 hounds. So
Right. As my action, I'm gonna my weapons are in hand, but I'm gonna put them down and be like, we're not here for a fight!
Oh, you're gonna die.
make a persuasion check.
I think we passed that. Good luck.
6.
Bruh.
Dang!
They don't even react at this point.
We couldn't persuade an ink
But
ball.
you do hear from the table like, "Huh? Party over already?" And you see the elf lady. She's like, "Wait a minute," and she's sort of collecting herself a little bit, and she looks beefier and stronger than the other two, and is putting her hand on her blade. But she's a little too out of it to be a part of this combat just yet. So Renostos, you're up with Slate on deck.
So I can't get into the room either, huh?
No, but you can see what's going on because you're standing, in the stairs, looking down over everyone's head. So ranged.
Can I, as a bonus action, set my plant down?
Yeah, you very carefully set it down.
Well, hold on. And then I will, seeing that the dogs obviously are not going to respond to any sort of
Yeah. You can clearly tell they're some kind of construct.
I am going to take my quarterstaff out and point it in the direction of the dogs and cast Firebolt.
Okay, which one are you going for?
I
There's 3 here that have been hurt, or the one on the table which is gone. You can see all of them.
I'll get the one that's been hurt that's in front of Anitka.
Okay, go for it. Attack roll. Ready spell attack.
That is a 16 to hit.
16 hits. What does it look like from you? Your artificer.
So the staff is just basically a gnarled piece of wood, but it still will. So it looks very organic, but it still shifts as if pieces of it are locking together.
Cool.
And then out of the end of it, then the magic will come out. It will just look like just
Nice.
weird.
I love it. Okay,
cool.
attack roll. You got the 16? Which
Yes.
definitely hits. Go and roll damage.
That's not.
D10.
D10.
Yeah, look at that damage.
That's
Wow.
a 6.
6. Definitely enough to take it out. And he just goes with a splattering of ink.
Grab this guy.
Kill the
Yep.
dog.
I know I'm a
Your
monster.
first
Kill
combat.
that dog.
It was a construct dog. Alright, Slate, you're up. Anitka on deck.
I will continue to beat down on the guy.
Non-lethally.
Non-lethally, yes.
Go for it.
I'm going to say stay down.
Attack roll.
Maybe not. That's 11 to hit.
11 just misses. Sorry. We're class 12.
Tanky.
That's all I can do.
Alrighty. And by this point, he's pulled out a short blade and is ready to fight you back. Okay. On Anitka, you're up.
Okay.
And the 8s will be somewhat soon. Go for it.
She's gonna take the crochet hook, she's gonna kind of twirl it around, and you can see sort of out of the sweater she's wearing, it's sort of like she's pulling the dye out of it, and she's gonna take that, and she is going to hurl it at these 2 mastiffs. Acid splash. Both of them need to make dexterity saving throws.
Which 2? The ones that have been hurt?
Yeah, the ones that have been hurt.
Okay. What's your DC?
It is 14, I believe. Let me...
Okay. One's going to pass, one's going to fail. One got a 4, the other one got a 16.
Okay, the one that got a 4 will take so many 2 damage, and then out of the crochet hook is going to grab some yarn, and she's going to attempt to snare it. Need to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Yeah, so the dye that whirls out whoosh, again, overcomes the ink and it dyes it all these weird riot of colors, and then it just sort of quivers and whoosh, splats into ink.
Okay.
And then this one has to make a what kind of save?
Oh, then if that one passed the save, then not.
Yeah, the one that failed died.
Okay,
and the
never
other one
mind
passed.
then.
Okay.
I'm just
Save
like
your use.
bad dogs. Bad dogs.
Got it. Sounds good. Okay. And after them is their turn, and then the 8s to follow.
The eights.
So yeah, I mean you got 888 here. So
There's our team name.
yeah,
The eights.
888. Okay. So you got the one guy in the back here who's not engaged with anybody. He's going to shoot Slate in the face with his crossbow.
Rude.
But no, with not very much accuracy, just embeds itself like on 11, so just in your shield. You've seen worse.
I'm gonna slap this man with my sword.
Yeah. The other guy who's right in front of you is pulling out his scimitar and just trying to slash at you. That's going to be 18 to hit.
Yes. I will
You take 5 points of
use.
slash.
Okay. Can I use my reaction to?
Yeah. Do you normally have to do that before the damage or
It
after?
just says as a reaction.
Yeah, I'd say that's fine then. After. So 5 points, and you can go ahead and do your stone endurance.
That'll block 6. So.
Okay, so no damage. So as it strikes his skin, you see like where it strikes and it like sticks for a second, and you guys see like that section of Slate's skin is just turned like to granite, and it just and he pulls it away. So no worries there. We've got 2 dogs left. Both are going to go for Slate.
So he's getting gained on you.
13 was the highest roll, so it looks like they're not going to find purchase.
Nope.
Maybe some leftovers from your granite skin protecting you there. All right, Team 8, go for it. Tanyl first with Cackler, then Flo to follow.
Whoops, sorry. I'm going to move up, so I'm kind of within 5 feet of both hounds. Am I also within 5 feet of the dude, or just the hounds?
Where you're at, you're just the hounds.
Just hounds. Okay, I'm going to do Word of Radiance on them again. So
Okay.
it's a con save for them.
Con save. DC?
13.
I got a pass on both, it looks like.
Boo!
13 and 15.
Boo, okay. Alright. We didn't come here to fight you! I yell
Persuasion.
as I try to blow up the hounds with radiant light.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cackler.
So let's see. Do I have anyone within 5 feet of me?
No bad guys, no.
Okay, sick.
No
I'll
opponents.
shoot the furthest one. The
What?
The furthest soldier guard person.
Okay, so there's one in the far back
That
that's
one.
going to be pretty hard to hit, actually,
Okay.
because there's a dog on the table in the way.
Okay. Yeah.
You can get the rising buffer lady, or shoot one of the dogs with a clean shot.
I'll shoot the buffer lady.
Go for it. Attack roll.
That's a 23.
Oh yeah, that hits. Go and roll damage.
Yeah, one would hope. That's going to be... So, damage is just a straight roll plus... Do I add anything to that?
Not for spell damage at this point.
Well, that's not a spell. It's just a crossbow.
Oh, crossbow bolt. Yeah, you add your dex bonus.
Okay, so that'll be 9.
9 points of damage, yeah. Well, that'll break the hangover.
Excellent.
All right, that's it for your turn.
I'll just mimic where Slate said stay down. Stay down.
All right, I like it. All right, Flo, you're up.
Okay, I can get into the room now.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna slide up and get as close as I can to any of the creatures.
Yep, there's a dog right in front of you now.
Okay, and there's a friend within 5 feet of it, so
Yep.
I'm gonna go ahead and swipe at it with my scimitar.
Go for it. Make an attack roll.
12?
12 is exactly what you needed. So,
Okay.
and you've got a friend within 5 feet, so that's a sneak attack.
Okay.
Woo!
It's not good.
I know that one I won't. I like seeing that.
8.
8.
Snack's pretty good.
Yep, got it.
It's not bad.
And again, just kind of unraveling into ink. You can move even a little farther forward if you'd like to press farther into the room.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Alright, is that for your turn?
Can I use a bonus action for another?
There's no one within 5 feet of you at the moment anymore.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, not so much. But you've got your sword out.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah,
your sword and
Can
your...
I go ahead and do a swipe with my short sword on the other dog if I can reach?
There's no one within reach, that's what I'm
Oh,
trying to
that's
say.
what you're saying. Alright.
The only person that's in reach there, unless you want to go around like the crate side and onto the table,
Yeah,
it's a little
sure.
cramped.
Can I go like hop on top of the crates?
Yeah, go ahead and make an acrobatics check for me.
That one.
Oh, it's a trip. Yeah, so you're kind of entangled there, and just kind of that spends the rest of your movement as you stop, just
Cool. Alright.
breaking into that.
I start
Cool,
cackling.
I like it.
Still got my sea legs.
Okay. Next is the buff lady. She draws a quite big-looking crossbow and takes a shot at Tanyl. Natural one. She was drunk after all, so she's sort of just like, and it kind of sticks a little farther into the wood than the others. Sorry, I meant to do that. And then Renostos, your turn. Slate, you're on deck.
I will. I don't think I can do that. I'm gonna fire off another firebolt at the pepperoni that's on the table.
Go for it. Attack roll.
Hit the pepperoni.
That is a 17
Nice.
and 7 points of damage.
Yep, that'll do it.
Rip.
Bye! And I'm gonna make my way downtown.
Go, go, go.
Alright, Slate, you're up with Anitka on deck.
Alright, I'm gonna just slap him. with
Go
my
for
sword.
it. Hit him with it. Slippity slap.
What is that? That's an 8. So that's a total of 14.
14 hits. Man, plus 6 already.
I love that those die are beautiful but
Yeah, it's
useless.
so hard to read.
Yeah.
They're pretty, but
Alright,
yeah.
so non-lethal you said, right?
Yeah, that would be 7.
Yeah, that's enough. So you instead, you just like flip it and just pummel to the nose. Just and you hear just like a crunching sound as he goes down.
That's gonna break your nose.
Alright, that's it for your turn. You're going to move farther in now that you can
I'm
occupy
gonna
space.
get into melee range of both of them if I can, if not just the farthest one.
You can, but I'm going to move the tape. Move the chair. Yeah, now you're in melee range with both.
Okay.
Okay, that's it for your turn. Anitka.
Okay. These two are farther than 5 feet from each other, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then she is going to sort of wave her hands, and it kind of looks like sort of like a sock still on the needles. So it's got 3 like very sharp double-pointed needles. She's gonna point at them, and the 3 needles are gonna fly out. 2 on her, 1 on him. Magic missile.
That's so cool. I love it. Okay, yeah.
amazing.
So two on her, you said,
Yeah.
and 1 on him?
Yes.
Okay,
So
so go ahead and roll the
creative,
damage
Megan.
separately.
Okay. For her, that'll be what is the damage? 2 force.
2 force damage, got it.
Or for him. Or
We've got him, the crossbowman, and her, the drunk who was just getting out.
okay, yeah, him the crossbow man, that'll be 2
Okay.
for her. 4, 6, that'll be 8 force damage on her.
8 force damage on her. Got it. So she's like, what the? What? And all right. Last guy is gonna go. Boss said no, and just swiping at you really hard. Not that hard though. With a total of a 10, so still not breaching that that beefy boy's shield and armor. So that's it for his turn. All the dogs are down. All right, team 8, go for it.
Let's go.
Alright.
Feeling great.
I'm gonna try to get myself up here on the table.
Okay.
So I can slash at her with my. I'm gonna try to also do non-lethal damage, and she told us to come downstairs and slash with my rapier. Nat 20.
All right.
There
Go
you
ahead.
go.
Critical non-lethal.
Hit him with it, but don't hit him with it too much.
that's a 14.
13 points of damage.
That's a nice slap.
Nice.
That's
like
some
bitch
hefty
slapper.
slap.
Yeah, you might get brain damage from the concussion, but I'm not killing you yet.
You said
Better than death.
14, is that right?
Yeah, it's double the dice, so it's 12 plus 2, so
Yep, got
14.
All right, she like wavers for a second as you just like completely smash a couple teeth go, and she's just like, oh, okay, and she drops her crossbow. It was just like, all right, all good. And the other guy's like, the hell, man! All right, Cackler, you're up. Flo, you're on deck.
Can I walk up so I'd be like alongside Slate, like next to the guy?
You can get to here.
That's fine. I'll look at him, just kind of like hold my crossbows out of his face and just gonna kind of like just gesture at his sword, like just
Make it an intimidation check.
Okay.
Use your big Kenku strength.
Oh, he's not intimidated.
You're a wee beefy boy.
He's still pretty committed to his cause, whatever that.
Oh, he sure
might be.
is.
Okay, that's it for your turn. So Flo.
I can't really get to anybody, can I?
Not with a close combat weapon, probably not. You can always ready an action and pass. Like if someone comes within 5 feet, they can attack or that kind of stuff.
I guess I'll ready my 2 weapons.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. She's already like, I'm out. It's all good. It's all good. Don't fight me. I'm Demacia, by the way. Renostos, you're up.
I'm gonna walk up, and at the same time, I'm unfurling a bit of rope from my bag.
Okay.
This is rope of climbing, so
Okay.
it's a magical item.
Yeah.
I can command it to. It can move up to 10 feet on my turn. And when I first command it, let's see. You can tell the rope to fasten itself securely to an object, or unfasten itself, or not itself, coil itself for carrying. I'd like to have it. Can we say that there's 10 feet between us? Would it be able to make
fine.
that? Go up, like have the rope kind of snake around and start wrapping itself around his arms.
Okay. Is it object or person or just object?
So it can fasten itself securely to an object or unfasten itself, not or unknot itself.
So an object. So maybe you could do like the sword he's holding.
So okay, we'll go for the sword then.
So yeah, go ahead and make a straight roll and add your spellcasting ability modifier.
Okay. That is a 22.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, it snakes like a sort of curling, ropey serpent around Slate under his arm and quickly wraps around and sort of messes with the grip on his sword. And at this point, he's pretty, okay, fine. Boss is going to be real mad. The night skin might kill us, but fine, it's okay. Stop. Okay, look, I'll put it down if you let me.
We told you. And now your friend is missing teeth.
We had orders. She's like, well, I never needed teeth.
You got any teeth to drink, right?
Exactly. This man gets it. All right, team. Well, that's where we're going to end combat for the night, and it's also where we're going to end for tonight. It's a little bit past time, but thank you for bearing with us. Combat is officially over, so I can shut the nice combat music. But yeah, we're going to pick up next week, again at 6:30 to 9:30. And thank you so much for tuning in, those of you at home. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves, and yeah, I can't wait to see what next lies in store for the team. So have a good night, everybody.
Bye.